Oh! Welcome back to Midnight Double Feature, everyone. This is Zoheb. I'm here with my good buddy Collin. How you doing, Collin?
I'm doing well, guy. I'm doing pretty good.
Oh, that's badass, man. Yeah, dude, we're covering Dredd today, the 2012 Dredd. I want to make sure I had to open the episode with the shitty 1995 one because it's so iconically bad. But yeah, like how funny is that fucking Stallone version? Like, it's just fucking ridiculous. Have you seen that?
I thought that's what we were covering.
Oh yeah, man. Like, for sure. We're just I completely watched the wrong movie then.
Oh,
Fuck.
well, all right, yeah, we'll be back. No, I'm just. I was so gonna fuck with you hard.
We'll be back next week.
Yeah, right. Like, because actually, I've seen the 95 one way more than I've seen the newer one. Like, I grew up watching it as a kid. It's like,
yeah, me too.
I still like get a little bit nostalgia for it, but at the same time, I mean, you have to recognize that it's a pretty bad movie.
Yeah, man. I remember when I was younger, like, me and my brother would rent the shit out of it. Like, we never bought it. We rented it all the fucking time for some reason. But yeah, I remember loving the music in that too. Like, it was just so fucking good. But yeah, man, this movie is the real deal. Like, this is Dredd. Yeah, for those of you that are like, whoa, why are they covering Dredd? We teased that we were doing a comic book movie for this episode, and don't get us wrong, this is a comic book movie. This is based on a UK comic book line by 2000 AD or 2000 AD, not 20,000. Yeah, 2000 AD is the name of the company. Yeah, so you might feel a little bit duped. Oh, they didn't cover anything Marvel. They didn't cover anything DC. Well, fuck you. We make the rules, bitch.
Yeah, I mean, with Infinity War coming out, we just did like a big review of that, and we're like, man,
yeah,
you know, there was a lot of movies that we kind of flip flopped in between, like DC and Marvel, and you know, even some that aren't DC and Marvel, and we were like, you know, like Dredd's good, you know, it's like it's a comic book movie, you know, and we just kind of it's kind of cool to shift gears off of something that's not Marvel for once too, which is cool with everything that's been going on lately. You know, so much news covering that. You know, it's cool to kind of shift gears and go in another direction.
Absolutely, and it's the first sort of like outright action movie that we've covered as well, which is like because we're getting like the price of two genres here, basically, right?
Yeah,
you got the action movie and a sci-fi and a comic book. Well, actually, three genres really. But no, man. This week, we don't really have that much sort of preamble. I mean, it's been a slow couple of weeks since Avengers came out. I haven't really seen anything else to review, because every other studio knows to get the fuck out of the way of Avengers, because that thing is just carving up the box office, as Matt and I talked about last episode. But yeah, Deadpool's coming out soon. Solo's coming out soon. I'm seeing really good stuff for like early stuff for those two movies, so I'm really stoked to talk about that, man, in the coming weeks. But Colin, you got anything else before we can kick this bitch off?
No, man, no, nothing really.
Citizen Mama, your crimes are multiple homicide and the manufacture and distribution of narcotics. How do you plead? Defense noted.
All right, let's get into this, man. Let's start off. What do you think about Karl Urban?
I think I think he does a good job. I know it's obviously miles away from the one that Stallone did, and it's I think it's I'm not really up and up on Judge Dredd, especially with the comic book stuff, but I'm pretty sure he never takes the helmet off. I think it's almost like a Master Chief Halo kind of thing, like the helmet never comes off. And that was
when the helmet comes off in the 1995 one, you know you're about to watch a shitty movie.
Yeah, right. And and apparently a lot of actors, I think, turned down Judge Dredd because of that, and Stallone almost turned it down. He's like, dude, this helmet's got to come off. But yeah, Karl Urban was, I almost called him Keith Urban.
Jesus.
Australia! Right. But yeah, Karl Urban, I think he does a good job, especially, you know, there's some things, you know, I don't like love about it. Sometimes just the look of just this like constant, just like
The grimace.
Yeah, the grimace. Like some of it's a little too thick for me at some parts, but the voice, the voice was really great, and that's really like the sound of his voice. It's really authoritative. There was nothing about it that it seemed like put on or that I wouldn't be intimidated by. I was like, dude, if I were in a room and I heard this guy talking, I would listen.
Yeah, I would shit my pants for one
Right.
if this asshole walked into the room.
Yeah, and he definitely reminds me of a lot of like, I don't know, I got a real like almost like RoboCop kind of feel from it. I think they're
absolutely.
actually, I think in the '90s they actually did quite a few crossovers, and there was like a Judge Dredd versus RoboCop kind of comic book. I might be wrong on that.
That's badass.
Yeah,
That's badass.
I think there might have been a video game actually. I might be wrong, but but I know for sure they cross over at some point. It just makes so much sense. Just the standard to uphold the law at all costs, and almost with Dredd, obviously, he's not a half machine or anything, but has that really kind of cut and cold, black and white kind of look at things, which I think that's definitely interesting, especially for their time setting for where they are. And I don't blame them. The cops have to be judge, jury, and executioner right on the spot. So there's not a lot of time to like dick around and consider things. You gotta make decisions like right off the bat. But I think he did a pretty good job. I definitely I like the voice. I'm a big fan of like voice acting, and the sound of like people's voices is really what can make it or break it. Really make it believable. But all in all, I thought he did a good job.
So, you can tell how good of a podcaster I am because I completely forgot to ask you, before I asked you, what do you think of Carl Urban? I forgot to ask you, what do you think of the actual movie?
Oh, yeah. Well,
give me your thoughts, man. Give me your general thoughts, and I'll hit you with mine.
I don't love this movie. I think, and I've been keeping that at bay because I know you fucking love this movie. Yeah.
Colin.
Dude, I bought it. I think I bought it when it came out on DVD. It might have been a little bit later, but whatever. I bought it and I've had it forever. I've watched it once, and I probably had it for like 4 years, since it came out, and have not watched it since. Not until you were like, "Hey, we should cover this," and I was like, "Actually, yeah, I do have that one. I probably should cover it." All in all, like is it entertaining? Is it a good movie? Like, yes, there's like it's not. It's not just an unbearable movie to watch, but there are things about it that, especially with the. I think they really skimped on the budget with their CGI and their effects. Like with digitally, I just like the parts that make up for it are obviously when they're like the scenes where they're what's the name of the drug that they take? Slow-mo, yeah. Those are absolutely gorgeous shots, and those are really some of the best shots of the whole film. Or when they do those kind of things, the music that plays along with it, it all looks incredible and it sounds incredible. But really, just a lot of the digital effects just kind of fell flat with me. I was like, I'm not a fan of digital effects in the first place. But when they're done right, I mean, you a modern cinema goer, you've got to be able to put up with digital effects. And I think I can make kind of peace with it when they look good, but I just didn't think that their effects and a lot of it looked good. Building the city and all of that stuff, it looked great. It really had this almost like Blade Runner kind of like Fallout feel to it, which I really love. And I think they did a good job with like their world building and stuff. It feels like a real lived in kind of world. But I do love. I can't stress this. I love the story to it. I love how the story takes place. It almost has kind of like a Die Hard feel to it. These two people stuck in a tower and someone's taking it over, and I was like, okay, this is kind of cool, and it all takes place over, just a day. And I love, the fact that this is, I guess what some people would consider like a normal walk in the park for like Dredd. I guess it's not every single day something like this happens, but what a day to take on a rookie. So I thought that was really interesting, and seeing what would probably be one of the harsher days for Dredd, which is saying a lot, is like this rookie's first day. I thought that was really cool, and I like the relationship between them. I just don't love it. It's a good movie. It's entertaining. It was definitely worth buying. But it's something that if I walked out and my disc was broken on it, I'd be like, oh, okay, well that kind of sucks, But at the same time, it is a good movie, and it's not, I wouldn't just be like, oh, don't watch that, that's terrible. Yeah, watch it, you might like it, but it's personally just not for me. I mean, it's not as good as the 1995 version with Stallone.
Oh yeah, no, that's a masterpiece, man, for sure.
But I hate to say it, I would probably watch that one before I'd watch this one again, just because of pure nostalgia, honestly.
Wow. All right.
Throwing jabs.
Fucking hell, man. I'm trying to put my arms up and block, but man, you're fucking gut punching me here. You're going below the belt too. But no, man. Yeah. It's no secret, man. I fucking love this movie. This is one of the few movies that I've seen 5 times in the cinema.
Yeah.
5. And I guess it helps because it's kind of short as well, right? It's 90 minutes. But look, man, this was fucking. I could not wait for this. When I heard about this movie being made, I was like, yes, because like we said at the top, we grew up on Judge Dredd, the movie. I didn't read any of the comic books or anything like that, but I was like super interested with the concept. Dude, the concept of like policemen basically walking around and like doing like summary judgments and executions and shit like without the court. Like that fascinates the hell out of me. That fascinates the hell out of me today because like I'm doing law and shit. Yeah. Like it could never exist. Like this whole thing would like fall apart in like a month, less than that, because like you need due process, right? Like you need all that shit.
Yeah.
So like, dude, like the way it's handled though in this movie, like I love it so much. Like they're talking about ISO cubes. I'm assuming that's like a jail, like a prison cell, and there's like juve tubes for the juvenile detention. Like it fascinates the hell out of me, and I love the way. Like you said, man, the way the story is set up, it's like Die Hard. This movie copped a lot of shit as well because it was released just after The Raid, which is an Indonesian flick. It's a martial arts flick. And that was set in like a building as well, just like kind of like a one location sort of thing. But that one location sort of thing, it's a good way to also hide the budget.
Yeah.
This is a science fiction film, and science fiction films aren't really very cheap to make. I mean, like if you're going for a scope like this, which is ambitious, you can't really show the rest of the city because it's it's expensive. Like like at the start you got riots and shit. But yeah, like it'll be expensive to do, so it's not the easiest, man. Like, but like I love the way they kind of had to counteract that a bit, like just by keeping it in one location. You talked about the budget. Now let's flip the script a little bit. Let me hit you with the budget. What do you reckon the budget was for this?
I'm gonna say $35 million.
Well, yeah, you're in the ballpark. So it was somewhere between 30 to 45. And look, assholes, I did my part, okay? This only made $41.5 million at the box office. I did my part. I watched this movie 5 times, like I said, so you guys got to pick up your game. But yeah, for years, man, this thing got released in 2012, but for years there's been like rumors and shit. Like this has got like a bit of a cult following. Yeah. There's like every now and then, Carl Urban comes out and like mentions something about sequels and shit, but like, man, I just want to see a sequel to this. Like, just open up the scope. There's so much there to tell, man. Like, there's so much meat on the bone.
Yeah.
That's another thing I want to talk about as well. So this was written by Alex Garland, who's become a pretty big name now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. He directed Ex Machina. He directed Annihilation. He's definitely... He's awesome, man. He's a force of nature, this guy. He wrote 28 Days Later. Like, that's no small feat.
Yeah, I fucking love Ex Machina. That is such a good... Yeah. If anybody hasn't seen that, definitely check that out.
Oh, yeah. Look, man, I would not hesitate if you asked me to cover that one day, like, on the podcast.
That's another in the backlog.
No, for sure. Just the long list of growing movies. But, yeah, but it's funny, because this movie was directed by Pete Travis, who directed Vantage Point, which was also pretty decent. But recently Carl Urban came out and like publicly said, no, most of it was actually directed by Alex Garland.
Yeah, I heard about that. There's been like a lot of conflicting reports because I think that Pete Travis has come out and said that like we came to an unorthodox conclusion about how the movie should be made and how it should be directed. And I think, because from what I've seen, or from what I've read, was that Alex Garland was really kind of put in the editing process, like very heavily put in the editing process. But yeah, a lot of people have come out and said that he basically directed this movie. But I think it's got both their kind of like hands in it. I've heard Carl Urban say that it's Alex Garland, and then Alex Garland come out and say, no, it was definitely a collaboration between the two of us. But
Yeah.
From what I've read, that led to a lot of the director not really like promoting the film much. I think he actually had like a lot of like resentment towards that from what I've read, because he wasn't apparently like very supportive of it. But yeah, I was honestly really, really surprised to see that. You never see the screenwriter come in the editing room and start directing stuff. That's nuts.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, that's another thing I want to talk about, man. The way this movie was promoted and marketed was fucking dog shit. Lionsgate, man, like they just completely dropped the ball with this movie. Like no one had heard about it when it came out. Like my dad who also liked the first, well, he didn't like it, but because he watched it like through us because we rented it so many times. He was like, wait, they made another one? Like he was like just completely blindsided. And like no one knew it was coming out, which is like another reason why I think, it earned so little. But not to like, I mean, there's a lot of factors that can go into that. I mean, like it's rated R, like it's very violent, it's not really for kids, like so you already, you're limiting your audience there. But man, I also love the supporting cast of this. Like how fucking good is Lena Headey? Oh man, like she's so I can't really think of the word. Like she's a presence.
Yeah, like that's one of the only things I really had a problem with. I wish they would have done a little bit more with her, because she does feel kind of two-dimensional at parts. It's like I don't feel like we get enough of that character. Like she feels very menacing, and I do feel kind of like intimidated and this chick's gonna like some cartel shit, carve you up and throw you off a balcony. But I wish they'd given me just like a little bit more. That's like I felt like her kind of demise was a little anticlimactic. I was like, man, I get it. This is kind of like not a smaller budget movie, but $35 million for 35 to 45 for this big of a scope of a sci-fi film is not compared to budgets that we're used to hearing. This is somewhat like, oh, that's kind of a smaller budget. I get it. You kind of I don't know. I don't want to say that I felt like the ending was rushed, but I do feel like it was kind of anticlimactic because she could be a much better character, and she is a good character. That's why it kind of leaves me wanting more from her.
Well, you know what I compare this movie to a lot, because the budgets were very similar, is District 9. So this was also shot in South Africa, same as District 9. That was shot in Johannesburg. This was shot in Cape Town. But yeah, the budgets were really similar, both are sci-fi flicks. District 9 feels a bit bigger though, and I think that's because Neil Blomkamp, like he's got Peter Jackson at his back, like producing it. So I'm sure you got a lot of that shit. But like, yeah, man. Like when it comes to the budget, like I just keep comparing these two, and this feels a lot smaller in scope. Just because I don't know. But look, man, I love the hell out of this movie. I'm really excited to get into this, man. Like, just off this first scene. This first scene is probably my favorite in the movie, to be honest. I love the way this movie opens. It's just so high energy from the start. It's just such a great intro to me, man. Like, I love this car chase. Like, this is. I think they like blew their load a little bit early because like they just spent. It looks like they spent a lot on this like car chase scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Look, unless you got anything else to say, we'll just kick it off. Yeah.
Now, I mean, I was going to hit you with a little bit of trivia first.
Yeah, sure.
Just a little bit that I pulled up. Apparently, this has almost if not the exact same, almost the exact same runtime as the original Judge Dredd.
It does, yeah.
That's really cool. And apparently, yeah, the director has come out and said that there will absolutely not be a sequel. And I was like, that kind of sucks. Like, and I'm not, but apparently, he had so little to do with the directing responsibilities. Who knows if you can take that at face value or not. But yeah, like one thing that I thought was really interesting is like when they do the slow mo and the drug, the music was what was really interesting to me. I was like, what kind of music is that playing? And I'm not sure if it's
so cool.
I think that they said it was either inspired by or it is a Justin Bieber song slowed down 800 times. 800 times they slowed this song down. I was like, that's really cool, actually.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think the soundtrack for this movie is so fucking good, man. Like the style, the visual and audio style, audible style for this movie is so spot on. Like it's very energetic. And I love the hell out of it. But yeah, man, we'll get into this first scene here. Like I said, I love this opening. It's just like it just shows you Mega City 1, like this fucking hellscape.
Yeah.
The cursed earth. The cursed earth always fascinated the hell out of me. I always wanted to see a bit more of it. That's why in the original Judge Dredd, I like that we see that family, the fucked up family.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was fucking cool, man. That was probably the best part of that movie, to be honest. But, yeah, like we get Carl Urban straight away. 800 million people living in this old world. Like, like this city stretches from Boston to Washington, which was the length of my last visit to America, because I started in Washington, went up to Boston.
Ah.
So yeah, that's a fucking massive city.
Yeah, right. But yeah, it's like 800 million people. I love they show a map at one point of just Mega City, and you see all the rest of the U.S. It's just like dark, like there's like
annihilated
nothing there. I was like, oh my god, that's really cool.
Yeah. So what do you think? I mean, like, because I don't know how it became that way, but I'm assuming it's nuclear war, right? Because they talk about irradiated, like I think Cursed Earth is irradiated wasteland, right?
I'm not sure. I would assume, assuming it's nuclear war is probably not like far off from anything that goes like post-apocalyptic. But I didn't know if it was kind of like an interstellar thing where crops started dying and people just started, people started dying and started running out of food. Because it seems like everything is just everything in this world feels manufactured. It feels very, it's like I said, it kind of has that almost like that Blade Runner kind of feel where like the food is all like manufactured, like nothing's grown like organically. Everything feels like it's just running like artificially, and I think that's really interesting. And like it took me
badass.
Yeah, it took me a long time to kind of put my finger on that. I was like, well, there's something just so off about this world. It's like, it's just so like inorganic. Everything about it seems like artificial, which, like I guess I assume it's some kind of nuclear war or maybe a famine or something. Something like that.
Well, I just assumed that it was, your boy over there going to war with the boy in North Korea.
Oh, yeah. My country is the best country, and I have all the nukes.
We're going to build a wall. But anyway. Yeah, man. We get this look in on, like, I love these shots, these aerial shots. Like, I know it's all CG, but I love the hell out of it. It's such a good way to open it, man. Like, we get these riots. It's just showing the state of decay and disorder in this city, and why they like this fucking legal system is needed, right? Like, I mean, why they need to pretty much like expedite the whole process, get rid of the courts. Like we need judgment now.
Right?
So, yeah. I love that, man. It's just such a cool way to start the movie, and then we get bam, Dredd, and like it kicks into high gear with this car chase. And dude, I love the music here. Like, I love scores in movies. Like, I love listening out to scores and just like picking out like what adds to a scene. And goddamn, the way this kicks off with this industrial kind of techno. It's just I don't know what it is about this score that just like kind of like revs me up. I'm like, yes, give me more.
Yeah, like I like because you were just talking about it's all digital, but it looks good. Like that's when it looks really good to me. Like I can live with digital effects. If they'd have just kept up that kind of par, but like there's just parts coming up, and I'll point them out as they're coming up. But that's what sucks is like I see what you did and it looks good, and I just keep running with that. But it looks great, and like you're just like in the front seat immediately going 100 miles an hour down this road. Like you feel like you're sucked in with Dredd like right away.
Oh, for sure, dude. I love how we kick off with the command center, and like the command center's like I think they call them sector. Is the name of the command center. And Sector's like shouting out these 3 perps that are like, like wanted, and it's just like, any judges please respond. And then you just get this shot of like Judge Dredd. I think they call the bikes the Lawmaster in the comics. And in the old one these things were flying and shit, but I'm glad I'm glad we get this kind of like grounded version. Like it's pretty much just a normal bike with like a shell over it. With like guns. But I can't with this scene. I've seen this scene so many fucking times.
I actually read that Carl Urban was just like refused to stunt double. He was like, no, like for this scene, he was like, I want to ride the bike. That's
awesome, man.
He's like, it's just too cool to pass up. It looks too cool.
That's awesome. Carl Urban, man, he needs more work. Like I know that he works so hard. Like he was in Thor Ragnarok. He's in Star Trek. Like. He's so fucking good, and he's from our neighbours to the east, New Zealand. He's a Kiwi.
Oh yeah.
So, it's awesome, man. But like he works in this movie. Like he's such a good choice to play Dredd. I just realized I didn't get a chance to talk about him, but like he's just so awesome, dude. But anyway, so like this car chase goes for a little while. Dredd catches up to them. He catches up to them not before they fucking brutally, in the first like act of violence in this movie, we get this look in on this poor guy crossing the street and BAM! All over the windshield.
It totally, like, I forgot all about it, and it still got me, like, got me this time. I was like, oh shit.
Just the way it's shot, man, like it's so unceremonious. Like it's just like bam, and like if you didn't know this was an R-rated movie, you know it now, right? Like goddamn.
Yeah, right.
But then he's like, "Control, Perp just wiped out an innocent. I'm taking him down." But then, like, I mean, you do also get that thing, like, okay, well, these guys just fired like a whole round of like Uzi bullets all over this like populated city. But why didn't you take them out earlier? But it's comic book shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just fires these like a couple rounds into their tire, and they just go fucking flying. And then you get this one motherfucker who runs into I think it looks like a shopping center, like a mall. Like, did you catch that?
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. It looks like some like, is it like a food court in a mall? Like, where the hell are you right now? Like, it kind of threw me off. But yeah, I guess it's just some kind of like the restaurant or food court or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but like people are running out, man. Like everyone's just like, there's just, it's just, he's got this like lady at gunpoint. And look, I will concede that this is the first instance of the digital effects not going well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I was going to say, this guy looks like a fucking, like, cheap jack-o'-lantern, like, when he shoots that hot shot. But, see, I love it. Like, I like the gun. I like the fact that you have different ammunitions for different kind of situations. But, God, it just looks... Yeah, as long as you're willing to concede that looks like dog shit, we can move faster.
Yeah, so I think that's a good point. I've always loved the guns, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. So they're called the Lawgivers. And pretty much he just shouts out whatever like bullet he's after, whatever bullet type he's after. He's got like high explosive, he's got armor piercing. Like I've always loved that, man. I always loved that he's got like a variant kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like, it's so science fiction-y. It's so very science fiction-y, but like it's so cool. It's like, oh, wonder what he's gonna use next to get him out of the situation, you know?
Yeah,
but I love
it feels like Batman's utility belt.
Right, exactly. Like, he can just pull anything out of his ass. Like, he can just be like, oh, dude, remember Judge Dredd, the old one? He's like, double whammy, and it fucking shoots two people, like the bullet splits.
Yeah, right. It's like heat-seeking bullets or something. It's like, oh my god.
Fucking ridiculous. But anyway, that's another thing, man. I love how grounded this movie is compared to that one. Like, it's just so... You can see, like... Okay, like, you know, sure, maybe, you know, we won't have 800 million people crammed into one city, but, like, you can see how this could kind of happen in maybe, like, 10 years or so. Like, it is so, like, fucking... Like, I'm talking, like, in, like, a third world country or some shit. Like, something like...
Yeah,
like,
oh, no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I mean, if you compare this to the 95 version where there's, like, flying bikes and shit, like...
Oh yeah, and like the Statue of Liberty is somehow right in the middle of New York now. Yeah, it's really odd. Like the city feels like what oh god, not Jerry Bruckheimer. God, what's his name? He did Batman and Robin. Oh my god, I can't believe.
Oh, Joel Schumacher.
Thank you. It like the city feels in the 95 Judge Dredd feels like what Schumacher made the Batman universe feel like, and like Batman Forever and Batman versus Robin, or Batman and Robin. That it kind of feels that way. Like just this, like I don't know how to describe it, but there's definitely like a similarity between the way, and I mean those movies were made, you know, just a few years apart. But yeah, I definitely feel like it's kind of like a Joel Schumacher kind of city. But this one, like I said, the world building is great. It feels very believable. It definitely feels like a real city that's like lived in. So like, like you said, they kind of do blow their load right at the beginning of it with building this huge city and this huge car chase. But it's good because it kind of, you know, it's going to ease us into the kind of, I don't want to say a smaller act, but, you know, a less, you know, explosive,
a bit more
feel.
Intimate.
Yeah, you go. Perfect.
Yeah. But look, I love this scene. This reminds me of like Clint Eastwood style shit. Like I love the way like it's shot, and he's holding the gun, and he's like, hot shot. Like he's just got that like that Eastwood grimace. Like, do you know what I mean?
I think actually they based Judge Dredd off of Clint Eastwood, and I think Carl Urban said that he was watching a lot of Eastwood stuff to get in preparation for the role.
It definitely fits, man. Like it for sure fits, because like especially in this scene where he's holding the gun, the way he's got the one arm and he's just like it's kind of like a low angle shot on him. It definitely looks like something that's like out of the Dollars trilogy, right? Like,
oh yeah.
But yeah, man, he lights this motherfucker up, which is a bit of a risky move considering, you know, he's got a Uzi next to this girl's head, but.
Yeah, right. You know. What if the guy had like a fucking seizure? just like lit her up.
Hey man, this guy's sentence is death. He's got no compromise, this guy. I think that's kind of like that's kind of important to the characterization of Dredd in this movie, because when he teams up with Anderson later, like her whole point is to like kind of make Dredd see that there's shades of compromise that's needed sometimes. Like you can't just be black and white.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. There's going to be some kind of, if you're, you can just have, black and white, but somewhere in between, people are going to fall through the crack.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. And that's another thing. Like we talked about the music, but another thing I really liked about this movie is the sound design. I love the gun sound. The way whenever he says something, the way the guns sound, like it's reacting to his voice. And it's like and it's like, and then when he pulls the trigger, it sounds so sci-fi, but it's just so like, it's so satisfying. I don't know why, but it just feels like a video game.
Yeah, that gun. I would definitely have that gun, Harrison Ford from Blade Runner, and the RoboCop Beretta. Like that's like those three guns. I mean, even again, I hate to keep bringing up the '95 version, but I mean, this gun is really. Cool.
No, dude, seriously, it's going to come up because there is no fucking way we're going to cover that movie. So
right, yeah,
talk about it as much as you can.
But yeah, I love the gun in both of those. You know, this one seems like a little bit more tactical, like a little bit more sleek. But like, I actually think I like, again, nostalgia. But just the way the one that Stallone has, because it's just a little bit more bulkier, it's a little bit bigger. Everything about Dredd is a little bit more toned down in this one. You know, the colors aren't as bright. You know, his uniform isn't as big. He doesn't have those giant gold shoulder pieces. You know, and Stallone, you know, he's like 5'9", and they make him look like he's like 6'5". You know, they make him look huge. And it's a lot less shiny, and I think, and that's great. You know, Judge Dredd wouldn't be walking around in a perfectly polished, like pristine uniform. You know, he's gonna have some dirt under his nails. You know.
Right, exactly, and it helps because, you know, in Judge Dredd the costumes were created by Gianni Versace.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Fucking ridiculous, but all right. But then we get this look in on the Hall of Justice, which is pretty fucking awesome name. We meet Judge Anderson, played by Olivia Thirlby, who's definitely not ugly.
No, not at all. Yeah.
But yeah, it's revealed that she's a mutant. So there are mutants in this world. I'm assuming. Look, this is another thing. This is why I think that there's been some kind of nuclear sort of thing, like some kind of nuclear event, because, you know, you get mutants from radiation, right? So, like, I feel like that kind of plays into it.
But see, I think they said something about her. Like, her house was next to is it next to like somewhere where there was a meltdown or like a crack or something like that? Yeah. Basically, she lived in proximity to this, and her both parents died from cancer, and she has the mutation. So yeah, I guess it could be some kind of global disaster. But she says in the movie, she's like, "Oh, I grew up in a block like this." I'm like, okay, so I guess it's somewhere around here. Like, you wouldn't have like an irradiated place in your city. So like, I don't know. Yeah, it's weird.
See, but then I'm thinking as well. But that means like she'll be unique. Like mutants aren't. Because, like, we get Wood Harris later, who talks about, you know, most of you guys have 3 arms or no arms at all or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, there are other mutants that exist. So, I feel like, I don't know, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's more than just
it seems like if anybody, I don't know how familiar you are with, like, Futurama.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but like those mutants, like, I suppose they're used to people of like that kind of caliber. So I guess, you know, seeing a mutant and the mutation isn't physical; it's like a mental kind of thing. Is different. Yeah. Like you said, it makes her very unique.
Well, it's not like the three-eyed fish from Simpsons. That's like downstream from like the nuclear power plant, right?
Right.
But yeah, man, we get this scene of the commander. I think it's whatever. She's like in some kind of leadership position, and it's a black woman. Very progressive.
Yeah.
She's telling Dredd, you know, she's failed her aptitude tests, but she's the most powerful mutant we've ever seen, we've ever come across. Like, and she's like, she gets Anderson to say, you know, who else is in this room with me? And she reads through Dredd's helmet, which I thought was funny, because like later she says, you know, helmets kind of fuck with my abilities a little bit.
Well, I guess like, yeah, because that seems kind of odd. If it messes with her ability to like push them out, wouldn't it be hard to like get in on somebody? Like, I don't know. Maybe it just affects her. I can't believe I didn't catch that. Good catch.
Oh, dude, when you've seen this movie 5 times in the cinemas, you pick up shit.
Yeah.
But no, man, like, she starts to read Dredd. Dredd's like, oh, she's a mutant. By the way, just a little heads up, there's going to be some impressions in this podcast.
I can already tell.
So Dredd reluctantly takes her out on a kind of like a ride along. Like, you know, like the commander's like, you know, throw her in the deep end. It's all a deep end.
Yeah, right. Like, Jesus, take it down a fucking notch.
Yeah. Dude. You know what? I'm going to give credit to and look, I don't mean to keep bringing them up every episode, but I love them so much. Dean and Matthew from the LSJ podcast, they covered this episode. They covered Dredd, and they brought up this thing, like how Dredd. Like, what does Dredd do in his spare fucking time? Like I love that point, man. Like they talked about They talked about like how he just goes home and stares at a wall.
I was gonna say his voice sounds like he just chain smokes unfiltered cigarettes and drinks black coffee, just like
oh, for sure. Like, and can you imagine this motherfucker just watching TV? Like, just
oh my god,
he's just chain smoking, and can you imagine he's probably watching like The Bachelor or some shit?
Yeah, what are you watching, Dredd? Downtown Abbey.
Yeah. What are you watching, Dredd? Every downbeat movie on the planet. He's watching he's got like the movie Seven on repeat, like it's just on fucking loop.
Yeah, or he'd be watching like Requiem for a Dream or like Donnie Darko or something.
Yeah, probably. Like, and he's just listening to like hard punk rock.
Judge Dredd is Henry Rollins, apparently. So
yeah, from Black Flag. Yeah, like while he's just like mourning the death of his wife and kids. I don't even know if this is canon. It probably is. They probably got some backstory of him, like just completely fucked up. But no, man, that's another thing I would have liked about this movie. And like, I get that Dredd is supposed to be this specter, like just kind of like a figure. But I would have liked to see a little more from him, like a little more background. And like, I think that might be like a thing about the time constraint, right? Because it's only 90 minutes. We don't get much. Mm-hmm. Like, I would have liked to see a little more, and maybe that's something that can be fleshed out in like a sequel or something. But I did like in the 95 one how we do kind of get a glimpse into his personal life.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I think that, you kind of got two avenues. You can look at the way that they did it in 95 and say, like, okay, well, that's kind of cool. We see that he did care for somebody and that he does have the capacity for that, and he does, but doesn't, like, I love that, it's just like, Dredd, don't you have any friends? He's like, yeah, I had one. She's like, what happened? I judged him. And it's like, damn, dude, that's a really good line. But at the same time, I like the way that this goes with the Avenue. Like, it's kind of like, let's not show anything because the less is more approach. Like I said, like Master Chief with Halo. Like, I mean, I love the Halo games. It's like
my God.
Those were, I mean, I was in like 7th grade when that came out. So it's like,
can we just quickly, that opening scene where they land on Halo for the first time, we'll be fine.
Oh, dude,
when they're coming down in the dropship,
it's so good. I love Master Chief, and but it feels very similar to that. Like
he definitely reminds me of him. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, the voice, the helmet, everything. There's not a situation in this movie that Dredd goes into that I don't feel like that he's in almost like complete control of. Like maybe a few times, but it feels the same way with Master Chief. If Master Chief shows up, oh, I'm good. Like I know I'm gonna be good.
Yeah, for sure. But look, man, Dredd decides to take her under his wing. He doesn't really have much choice. But then we get this look in on Mama. Lena Headey's mama. Mm-hmm. She's just taking a nice little bath. She's smoking that good dank shit. But no, she's smoking slow-mo. We get this look in. We had it before, the slow motion sort of camera. And this was something that I thought was going to annoy me. Like, I was like, fuck, this movie's going to have so much slow motion in it. Like, I like slow motion, but if it's used insanely, like, so often, then I get kind of bored. I'm like, all right, move it along. But like, thankfully, like, the movie didn't really do it too much after this. Like, I mean, we get that awesome, breach scene later. But yeah, like, what do you think about Lena Headey's like sort of intro here?
I think it's great, and I think it's a perfect way to kind of bring in a character who is basically a monster, but to show her just doing something so innocent. It's just like taking a bath, and it's such a beautiful, with the water and the sound. I love the music. It looks great. Yeah. Oh yeah, the music that plays when they do the slow mo is just absolutely fantastic. And right on that first shot, you see the huge scar, like all of this like beauty with the sound and the visual, but then you get a shot of this woman with just like, just that bird's nest of black hair, and her teeth seem kind of like grimy, and she's got that huge scar on her face, and I was like, damn, that's kind of crazy.
It's definitely like juxtaposed, like it's like binary opposites. I love that shit, man. Like, it's just kind of like two things that's in the same shot that shouldn't be there, but like they go so well together. Like, do
absolutely,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, yeah, but we also get a look in on Caleb, which is her right hand man, who takes a swan dive later. But yeah, he like this is goddamn this skinning and the toss him over the balcony.
Yeah, a
Fuck.
lot of swan dives in this movie, actually.
Yeah, there's a lot of it's a big building. It's a
Yeah.
big fucking building.
Somebody build a fucking rail. No, I'm just
Yeah, I know. Someone just
build some nets down there for fuck's sake. Like,
yeah, put some nets up. Maybe like a jumping castle, something soft to
Yeah.
like soften the landing.
I expected to see like family, like the Flying Graysons, like a trapeze family, just like going back and forth in between.
Yeah, I know, right? Harvey, I'm Batman.
Oh my god! Speaking of Schumacher,
Fuck me. But then no, we get. But then, yeah. So we meet Wood Harris, aka Kay. Wood Harris is fucking Avon Barksdale from The Wire. If you haven't seen The Wire, go fuck yourself.
no, sorry. I guess I gotta go fuck myself. I haven't seen it.
Oh my god, you're killing me. You are killing me. But no, man. He's okay in this. Like, he doesn't get much to do, but he's awesome in The Wire. But yeah, he essentially lets Mama know that these three people have been like dealing on their property, dealing other drugs. I forgot what they're called. Sternhammer.
Yeah, something
or
like that. Yeah, sledgehammer
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, and she she's like, all right, skin him and toss him over the balcony. Like, what the
Ugh.
fuck? That's fucking next level, man. But what do you think of this, man? Like, the way I love the way this is shot. It's like first person, kind of like with the inhaler, and then it's like over the edge. Like, I love the hell out of that.
Yeah, because you don't really know like what the implications of this drug are at first. So you're like, why are they hitting him with the slow mo? Like at first, I was like, is this like a mercy thing? Like, is it like, well, we're just making an example out of you. It's nothing personal. We're just gonna ease the pain as you get dropped down. And I was like, no, actually, quite the opposite. It's just brutal. And it's seeing those guys, any kind of like torture, kind of thing gets me. Seeing those guys like held down and they're dragging the other guy off. And yeah, I love that shot of the inhaler and just it going down and it just keeps falling and keeps falling.
Yeah.
So like even in those few moments, like it's giving you a taste of how long it would take you to fall down this thing. So when you figure out what slow-mo does, it's like, God, what an evil bitch. Like that's what I'm saying. Like shit like that makes her a good villain. Well, actually, I guess it's Caleb's idea really to like hit him with the slow-mo first. But she's like, yeah, absolutely, do it.
Kay's idea, yeah.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, it's absolutely brutal, man.
Yeah. But you know what, man? We also get one of my favorite shots in the whole movie here. It's they've put the camera all the way down at the bottom, and you can like see up the building, and it's just like that white background with the sky, and you just see these like three dots come up over the edge, and oh god damn, I love that, man. I just love how you like see them come up over the edge, and then we just like get this look in on like this poor woman like pushing her stroller along, and bam,
Oh,
fuck.
she's got to feel like target practice by the time the third one comes. Like, dude, after the third one came, I would have just fucking hightailed. I was like, dude, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like, oh, well, sorry, we can't hit up the food court. I know you're hungry, kid, but, kind of bodies falling from the sky up in here. But we also get this awesome transition. I love how you see the three bodies and then it kind of pulls out and it's like a computer. Like these three blips.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, we got multiple homicides at peach trees, and I was just like, God damn, that's awesome. I always kind of like headquarters shit like that. And it pulls out from the peach trees, and we see like red dots like all over the fucking city. Like this place is, yeah, man, this place is a cesspit.
Yeah, it was nuts to like, just in this movie alone. Guess what the body count is in this movie?
102.
Fuck you. I ban you from looking on IMDb before we check these movies. Anymore.
All right, yeah. But no, dude, 102 is a crazy body count for a 90-minute movie.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's God. I would love to see the math on that, but
dude,
I'm an English guy, so fuck it.
Me too. I didn't even know it was that much until I looked at it this morning, like on IMDb. I was like, whoa, really?
Mm-hmm.
Because like the way it's paced out, like, I mean, sure, you get these like scenes of like mass like shootings and shit, but like, holy shit. But yeah, Anderson and Dredd head off to the peach trees. I think it's pretty interesting that like Dredd throws out those statistics. Like we can only respond to like a certain percentage. I believe it's 6%.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah,
like,
I think so. Yeah,
dude, like for sure, your system is working. The justice system here is like definitely working, right?
yeah. You see why so many people have fucking guns in this movie.
Yeah, like everyone's just armed to the teeth. But then yeah, they essentially kind of like rock up to the peach trees. And like we get these. I always like these shots, man. Like there was like another shot earlier where the van kind of like when the van crashes and like it's kind of like a top down like shot.
Yeah.
Like there's another one like where you see just here Dredd and like Anderson walking into the building and it's like a top down kind of shot. It just looks gorgeous, man.
It builds the world. It seems so big.
Yeah, it seems bigger than it is. And like in terms of like scale, like I think the movie did that really well. Like based on the budget that they had. But then we get this vagrant here, like this poor bastard sitting right under the door. Will debase self for credits.
Jesus Christ! Like I kind of like part of me wants to pull a guy aside, and be like, so what all does that entail? Like,
what kind of acts do you
what's
do?
What's your business plan? Is there like a 401k or like?
What's your and also when you say debase, what's your limit? Like, where will you go?
Right, because it's like God in the future. I can only imagine the crazy shit that they've thought up.
Oh yeah. I'm thinking like Demolition Man, like having like sex, like in like virtual reality kind of thing.
That's so crazy. I watched that movie like 4 days ago. That's so weird. You just said that.
Oh Jesus Christ! But yeah, Dredd gets her to spell it out for him. Essentially, he's headed for the Juve cubes, but they want to prioritize the murders. So don't be here when we get back. And they head off, and this is where we meet the medic, who's a little bit of a bitch, but he's just kind of here for like exposition, right? Like he tells us a bit after this scene, like what Mama's all about. But yeah, man, like when he pulls the covers off these poor bastards, oh my god, the practical effects here, like it's like the Thing.
Yeah, like the bald guy, the way his head is just like kind of, it looks like it's almost like melted into the concrete. Like
it's like flattened.
Yeah, it looks like a Rice Krispie treat.
Right, exactly, and it's like not CG; it's like an actual like prop. Like it looks pretty fucking good. It looks like someone vomited behind his head. Like,
right, totally.
It's like these chunks. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually really surprised that Dredd doesn't know what slow-mo is.
Yeah, I guess they say that it's like a new and upcoming drug on the market.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. No, wait. No, he does know slow-mo, but he doesn't know Mama. Sorry, that's the thing. I was surprised that he didn't know who Mama was.
Yeah, I guess because it is, Peach Trees is, I mean, it's a huge block. And I know they say she's only taken it over like 9 months ago, but still, I mean, 9 months is a long time. Again, you respond to 6% of your calls. I guess you might miss some. Like they say that a judge hasn't been in Peachtree in like ages. Right.
Yeah. But man, I like that we get this when what's his name? When the medic like tells Olivia, I want to say Olivia Anderson, like what slow-mo is all about, and she looks up to the tower, and we get this like amazing shot of like the camera like moving down the building, like through the center. Oh god damn it! It's just it's so grimy and dirty and filthy, but the production in this movie is so good. Like I dig the hell out of that. It's just. Oh, I love it. I'm so infatuated with this movie. I just love the world. But man, yeah. So then we get this montage, this mama kind of like scene, like where we get this look in, like who Madeline Madrigal is, which is an awesome name, Madeline Madrigal. It sounds like a comic book character
for sure.
But yeah, she's this bitch makes fucking Cersei look like a princess.
Yeah, right. I was like, yeah, that she used to be a prostitute, and she basically killed her pimp by feminizing him with her teeth.
Ooh.
And I was like, Jesus Christ!
Suddenly, my nethers start hurting.
Yeah, right. It's like when they show her mugshot, I was like, hey, she's actually like she's really attractive when she's not all like carved up. And they're like, she feminized a guy with her teeth. I was like, and I'm gonna go this way now.
Yeah, I paused it on her because they bring up her like little rap sheet. She's had 9 convictions and 23 months served. She's from the Pleasure District. Like, damn. So she's a hard bitch. But you know what, man? Another one of my favorite shots is her looking directly into the camera with like just that smile and the cuts on her face.
It like transitions from her mugshot.
Yeah, like right after she's feminized that guy with the teeth. And it's just like, and then like it pulls out and like we get her like crushing the eyeballs of Domhnall Gleeson, who's in Star Wars and Ex Machina. This guy's become a thing now as well.
Yeah, and it's great too because I didn't put 2 and 2 together until the end of the movie that this was the person that we saw in the first 20 minutes of the movie. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, for sure. I love the music here as well during this montage, like the way they're just going through these three gangs, and they're just basically how ridiculous do the judged look?
Dude, I was gonna say, I was like, oh my god, like I get it, it's kind of cool, like I see what you did there, it's kind of interesting, but like, is that just war paint or is it a tattoo? Like, good god, man.
Yeah, like why would you like idolize the people who are killing you? Like,
yeah. I guess it's good camo. Somebody think like, oh no, that guy's a judge. Like that's the only thing I could think.
Absolutely, man. But like, I love the way she just pretty much takes them all over. I like that we come back to like that like shot of her like smiling and like all cut up, and then Caleb's in it, and he just reaches over her shoulder and just like shoots at the thing, and that's what kicks off the music.
Yeah,
it's just cool editing, man. It's just awesome.
Yeah, I definitely like, cutting back and forth between, like, going from the mugshot to then what she looks like now, and then we have this montage of the judge trying to run around, and I can't remember the names of all the gangs, but
Peyote Kings, the judged, and there's someone else, but I can't remember.
Yeah, but just a cool montage of seeing them, especially those 2 guys from the judged as they run around the corner, like, come on, and you just you see them get obliterated.
Shotgunned.
Yeah, right. And then immediately there's that shot you were talking about with him coming over the shoulder with a pistol. I thought that was, I thought it was pretty cool.
So cool. And I love that. Like, I love how you get that scan of the building, right? You got Mama Clan at the top, Peyote Kings. Sorry, Red Dragons is the other gang. So you got Red Dragons in the middle, and then the Judge at the bottom. And it's like this like scan, and basically Mama's like killing them as they go, and like it scans all the way to the bottom. It's just so cool.
Yeah, imagine having that entire block and running that entire block. Like, that is insane.
Yeah, that little scan as well also says that Mama has 432 gang members. Wow.
Good God.
So you have 432 people chasing two judges the entire movie. God damn it.
Yeah,
and what, a quarter of them get killed throughout the movie?
Yeah. It's like,
wow.
Where's the rest of these guys? I mean, I don't know. There could just be a bunch of pussies and be like, dude, fuck that. That's Dredd. Because Dredd is infamous in the comic books. I mean, he is, somebody's like, oh my God, it's Dredd, and in the Stallone one as well. People just, their jaws hit the floor when Dredd shows up because it's just like, oh, okay, we're in some deep shit now. So, like, I don't know if it's maybe some of them are just like, dude, fuck that. That's Dredd. Like, there's no way. But if this is one of the most like lethal judges out there, if this guy's one of the biggest ball busting like pricks of all the judges, like, dude, now's the time to drop this guy because I want to see what his arrest record is. Is he like, he's got to be something like Nicholas Angel from Hot Fuzz. Is like 400% higher than everybody else.
Sergeant Nicholas Angel.
But I definitely think that Dredd would be super intimidating. Like, how in the world did they survive through this? I have no idea.
Yeah, man, for sure. So then, like, we get this medic who's like, how often we get a judge up in peach trees, and then what's Dredd's response, Colin?
Oh shit, I actually do not know.
Well, you got one now.
Oh God.
That fucking drawl.
I was gonna say, I feel like this guy goes home and does like his best Wolverine impression. Like just try, or like, I really like the way that Christian Bale talks in The Dark Knight. Like, just constantly walks around and talks like that.
Well, Clint Eastwood, right? Like, I mean, can you imagine him saying, "Get off my lawn"?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, I could totally like Carl Urban in like a Clint Eastwood biopic.
Yeah. So Dredd and Anderson head off to this party. Like they're wanting to go capture this guy Lex, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, sorry, Lex. Fuck me, Lex. K. They wanted to go capture K. And these guys are having his party. This little rager. We got little techno music.
Oh yeah.
And can you I would not sit down in this room anywhere. This place looks fucking filthy.
Yeah, no, there's no way. Like, and just the whole scene of it. Like, and also like you're selling drugs out of this. Like, do you want people like smelling this or like what the fuck? Like, this seems like such a stupid idea. Especially these two guys. They look like a couple of bumblefuck idiots.
Like fucking idiots, right? But like, you know what, man? Like, I would just like bring a towel and I would sit on that towel. I'd bring like 8 towels and like pile them up together and sit on it, because like, and I'm not like leaning my back on the wall or anything, because I feel like I'd get tetanus.
Yeah, like Zoheb, you want to do some of this? No, I'm just gonna sit here on my towels. I'm fine.
Is it sterile? Can you sterilize this?
Right.
Because this is fucked. But yeah, man, we get the look in. I just love like the way this guy's like eyes roll back when he hits the inhaler.
Oh yeah,
it's just so cool. And the way the smoke looks, man, like it's just so fucking cool. And this guy's like over here having like a domestic with this with this woman. Like it's just like slow motion. Like he's got his hands on her head.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like the Sistine Chapel. Like the more you look around, there's just so much stuff going on.
For sure. But this is another one of my favorite shots, this close-up of the inhaler and the liquid inside.
Yeah, it's
like,
beautiful.
It's just kind of like, oh my God. Like, it was used in the trailer, and I was like, wow, that is awesome. Like, it looks, because the liquid looks disgusting, but, like, it just, like, it looks so beautiful, and the way the music slowed down, too, is just so good. But then essentially, like, you see Dredd and Anderson rock up outside the door. Dredd gives her some shit about like leaving her helmet behind, and this is where we find out that Anderson can't really use her her telepathic powers without because it blocks it, which makes me wonder about how she can read Dredd's mind, but whatever, that's comic book shit. And then we get this awesome breach scene. I love the way he puts like the charge on the door and he leans over. It looks awesome.
Yeah, I love just that little bitty charge. It looks like, I didn't expect it to blow the fucking room back like it did. Like, I just thought, okay, it's a door charge. They'll breach and come in and start shooting. And it's like, oh my God. Like,
yeah, for sure. So they're stacked up outside the door, and we get this awesome sequence. This fucking, like, remember how I said they blew their load on the car chase? They blow their load here as well. There's 2 load blows.
Yeah, so far. You got to watch the crossfire.
Yeah, there's a lot of load flying around. But yeah, no, man, like, I love the way this door lock blows off first. It's like boom, and then we just see like the parts of the lock just blow apart and they fucking enter. Like, these guys just come straight through like a fucking force of nature. The
ripple in that guy's stomach, like, as the thing,
yeah.
It's like, it looks like someone throwing a rock in a pond. Like, that looks so cool.
That was a real stunt. That was them actually hitting this guy with compressed air.
Oh shit, that's really cool.
That's not, it's not like a practical effect. Like, this, they didn't build anything. This is like a guy getting hit with compressed air, and like that's why it looks so fucking sick. Like, it just looks so cool, man.
That's awesome. I did not know that.
Yeah, like the way they just come in, man, like they just breach, and you see like Dredd's gun in the left hand corner of the thing. So that's another thing. When I watched this in the cinema, I watched this in 3D because they were really pushing the 3D for this movie. And like all movies, they have like a letterbox. So, that's the 2 black bars on top and bottom.
Mm-hmm.
During this scene, the 3D was really outstanding because, like, when he would shoot these guys, especially this guy here that he shoots through the cheek, the left cheek, which is awesome. Like, you just see his cheek just like blow apart. His cheek, like, you see the blood go the blood goes over the black bars, so it's kind of like it's like, do you know what I mean? Like the blood is kind of coming out of the screen.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm sure that looked like nuts because like I'm honestly not like a big 3D movie going guy. I've only seen like I think I saw like one of the Alice in Wonderland movies a long time ago, like I was in high school. But you know that's honestly like probably the only movie I've ever seen in 3D. But yeah, this thing would be nuts, especially with like we said with that like that arterial kind of like blood splatter like coming out. Like I'm sure that was quite a sight.
Dude, it was fucking awesome, man. Like it was good, man. Like this movie as well. They apparently like they created their own 3D cameras, which is nuts.
Shit.
Yeah, like later we get that close up shot with the miniguns with Mama, and like she's just like looking like kind of like into the camera. But yeah, like they created their own sort of like cameras. I can't remember what they were called. I'll pull it up and see if I can find it later. But it's pretty badass. But yeah, man, Dredd just basically fires this bullet. I love this bullet coming out of the gun. This like slow motion shot. And this guy just gets fucking murdered in the left cheek. Like,
oh, dude, yeah, that's like the best shot. Like, like the bald guy and then the guy on the couch, like getting shot. Those are like the best kills in that room.
Yeah, and like, it's not, and the blood doesn't look. It's not like, you know, fucking brainstem, fucking dark red blood. Like it's like, it's very lightened up. Like, you know, it's not fully gory. Like it is gory. Don't get me wrong. But like it doesn't look like arterial, like massive, like brainstem blood.
Right, yeah, and it's very bright because of all the, you know, obviously when they go into those slow-mos, you know, everything becomes insanely vivid.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing I love. That's another thing I love. When he lowers the gun and like in the background you got those guys, that guy with his hands up. When he lowers the gun, like the color just like fades out and goes back to normal.
Yeah, that's great. I didn't expect the guy, that little pissant on the couch. I didn't expect him to pull out a gun. I was like, dude, like you're fucking nuts, man. Like you're out of your mind. Like you have two guns on you, and they're both judges. Like what the fuck is wrong with you?
Right, exactly. These guys are authorized to kill you.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, man. She calls a meat wagon, and essentially, like when she touches Kay, she reads Kay's mind, and she's like, "Wait, this guy is responsible for the skinning of those guys that were in the lobby." Mm-hmm. So they capture him, they hold him, and it's cool, man. Like I like that they've taken this guy prisoner instead of like killing him. Dredd's all for killing him,
right?
Because you know the sentence is death.
Yeah, I love it. He asked her, he's like, "Are you sure?" She's like, 99%. And he can't execute a perp on 99%, you know, because even though he wants to do it, and, you know, yeah, I could just do it, and I know the world would be a better place. It's like, nope, got to abide by the law. It's like, it's black and white, even for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we get pulled into the control room after that. This is Mama's control room. We get fuck, you know, I'm just gonna call him Gleason. Fuck his name. Fuck you, British people. Dominal? Come on, Dominal.
Yeah, right. Like, I couldn't pronounce that.
Yeah, it's rough. But he looks at the cameras. He figures out that Kay's been captured, and this is like when we get like he fucking panics, and he's like. Caleb, there's a problem in level 39. Like this guy's an actual like good actor. I really like this Gleason kid, man. Like he's especially in Ex Machina. Like he's awesome in Ex Machina.
Yeah, absolutely. This guy seems like just such a more advanced version of, you know, just a gamer kid, just YouTuber kid, just like like somebody who spends like all their free time indoors playing games. Like he seems like just like such a like extreme version of that.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we get like a reaction of like Caleb talking to Mama, and Mama's like, you know, if they've captured him, then you know they'll make him squeal, he'll talk. So the whole fucking mission becomes, you know, we got to find Kay.
Right? Yeah, like that's and I love Yeah, and that's basically, that's basically our whole story right there is really, we haven't gone down lockdown yet, but like, I mean, right away, we're 25 minutes into this movie, we've already got the world set up, we understand what's going on with Dredd and Anderson, and then here we are, immediately, kind of not immediately, but making our way very quickly into like our main story.
Absolutely, it's pretty. It's like the pacing in this movie is pretty good, man. I dig it. But yeah, like we get this look into the security control room. Like we get this little Nakatomi Plaza style, like like let's hack into the systems kind of thing. I love that these security guards are just like kind of asleep, and like these guys just bust in. They only fire like 10 rounds or some shit, and they like kill like there's 4 of them in this room. Like they all just get fucked up.
Yeah, it's like beautifully synchronized too. The way they all just and like all in one shot. It's not cutting not cutting really quickly. It's all just one like and then it's done. It's like holy hell.
Yeah, there's like little things like that in this movie that really like impress me. And like that's why to me like it's a cut above like other movies like this a little bit. Like I just like it's just really small things like but yeah, Caleb hacks into the security control, the control system, and this is when like shit gets real. Activate war override.
Yeah, I love especially with I got my supervisor breathing down my neck down here, like like he sells it. He really does. Obviously his life is on the line. So, but yeah, he totally sells it.
Her face, just staring at him with those eyes. Oh, just so terrifying.
Yeah, she reminds me of like a Black Widow. That's kind of what she reminds me of.
Like a Russian kind of fucking, like not even moving. But yeah, god damn it, man. They get the permission from Sector, and then they just like what do they do here? Oh no, wait, we got to look in on Anderson and Judge Dredd as they're going down the lift. Anderson reads Kay's mind, and she's like, he's thinking about making a move for your gun. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, now he just changed his mind. And Dredd's like, yeah.
Yeah. Because we haven't established what happens when you go like which kind of surprises me that this guy doesn't know that. Like I feel like this would be common knowledge, trying to pick up a judge's gun. I feel like that would definitely be that. There's a reason why it's a protocol because so many people were probably going for your gun. It's definitely interesting that he doesn't know this. And I read a little bit of a theory that somebody's posted on IMDb. I don't want to like jump the gun, but basically kind of like later on when they're linking minds, Anderson and Kay, and he pulls that gun and shoots at her like several times. She kind of like lets him think that he could get her gun because he obviously doesn't know what happens when you get a judge's gun. Like I read online.
That's cool.
Yeah, I tried to look up the user that posted it on IMDb. It's really cool. I think that is a really cool angle to look at it from. I wish I could credit them properly, but yeah, I saw that and I was like, dude, holy shit, that's actually pretty cool. Like, because she sees that he's thinking about going for the gun. So, he doesn't know what happens when you get, when you grab the Lawbringer or Lawgiver.
Lawgiver, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't know what happens. So she kind of gives him the false, like, when they're linking
perception.
Up minds. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
That's awesome, man. Holy shit. This movie, right? Man, I love it. But then, man, we get brought right back to Caleb, and he's activated the war protocol. And this is all happening while Dredd and Anderson are on their way out of the building. They're literally right at the door. And if they hadn't stopped to tell this motherfucker to get like this vagrant, like, get up, you're headed to the cubes, they would have made it out. They're like out, like right before the door. And that's when we get the sirens, and it's like his fucking door just crushes this guy.
Oh, dude, just like a, I expected it to like slice him like a sandwich, but then it just crushes him.
Yeah, man, we don't get much humor in this movie, but whatever humor we do get, it's pretty fucking dark, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, the humor behind it is it's definitely a very dark, very black kind of humor. But I mean, you'd have to have some kind of warped sense of humor to like survive in this world, let alone like thrive.
Absolutely. So then we see all these doors coming down, and then we get kind of like a look in at like all these residents, kind of like confused and like, what the fuck's happening right now, dude? I'm a chubby guy. I'm fat, right? Like, you know what I'm getting at, right? Like, I'm not fat shaming, but this guy,
Dude, that guy's
that,
huge. Like, I mean,
holy
I'm a big guy
shit.
myself. You know, I'm pushing close to like 300 pounds. I'm like 6'4", but dude, this guy is like, I was like, good God. And of course he's eating something.
He's eating something. He's got like 8 beer bottles on his table. Like,
Ugh.
dude, you are gonna have a coronary in like 10 seconds. Like, I don't think he survived this movie. He was part of the body count.
Yeah, when the shooting started, he just fucking had a massive heart attack and just gave up.
He just got shocked, and like he just literally like got a little bit of a shock, and like that's it. He died.
Yeah.
Like, fuck me. But no, man, I love this shot of like all these doors coming down. And it's really foreboding, right? Like, it's like, holy shit, you're putting these guys in a situation. This is where it kind of separates itself from Die Hard. Like, you can't just throw a body out the window and let everyone know you're stuck inside the building.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? You can't be like, welcome to the party, pal.
Yeah, right. It's very, even though this place is huge, it feels very claustrophobic.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I love this shot of like the overhead doors like at the top just closing these massive fucking bulkhead doors. It's so cool. And then all the lights just come on, and then this is what I like about Lena Headey. I've always loved this. When she goes to make this announcement over the PA system, she like stops and hesitates. I don't know what she's thinking here, but I'd love to know what she's thinking, dude. Like, is she thinking, do you think she's thinking, am I really about to go to war with, like, these 2 judges? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, she takes a deep breath before she does it.
Yeah, it seems like because I'm sure when she, Mama speaks, everybody listens. So I'm sure she's, picking her words carefully or trying to figure out exactly, what it is that she needs to say. And like, I'm going to say this very carefully because I'm sure she's fully expecting somebody to fuck this up. Like, I mean, just like, I'm going to choose my words very carefully because somebody in this group is going to either muck this up between all of the different gangs and all of the different people in it. Like, there's so many idiots that probably work underneath her. She's just like, I'm just going to take a second, compose myself, make sure I'm speaking as clearly as possible. And especially, I mean, it's going to send just going to cut those judges to the core, being like, oh my God, like, we are actually stuck in this, here we are, like, knowing what the odds are now, like, like literally almost out of the frying pan and then thrown back into the fryer. That's got to be terrifying.
It's badass, man. But yeah, I love the announcement, man. Like, she's just like, peach trees, this is Mama. And then, like, she basically puts a hit out on them. So this is like 400 people are bearing down on the judges, which is fucking insane. And you just get shots like intercut of like, people getting ready, people running out, and like Anderson and Judge Dredd start running for the elevator. And then you just see after she's done like with her announcement, like you just see how barren and empty the hallways are. You see this like one little kid just like kind of running through.
Yeah, I love that because we kind of see him again a little bit later, I think.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
I love that shot with the basketball. Like, it's just like lone basketballs like in the corridor.
Yeah, right. It definitely seems like talking about Clint Eastwood. Like, it definitely seems like a Western where there's about to be a shootout, and like the moms are taking the kids and running off with them and stuff like that. Like, it definitely feels like that kind of movie.
Yeah, man. Like instead of tumbleweed, it's a basketball.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. But then straight away, man, like no hesitation, we get like put right into the action. They're on the stairwell, and Dredd hears these guys, and he's like, call it, rookie." And she's like, she settles on the gas grenades, and he's like, what's he say? He says respirators. So yeah, man, this is where the music, like the fucking score kicks in again, and I fucking love it. I'm just like all boned up for this. Just how he moves. I love Carl Urban's physicality in this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's so like, he reminds me of a tactical, like a SWAT kind of officer.
Yeah, his form, his body,
Yeah.
the shape that he takes is so like efficient.
Yeah, it's efficient and like, but it's still like robotic, like you said. Like it's like a mix of like a SWAT operative, and he's like RoboCop at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Yeah, I can definitely
Like,
see that.
like you can totally tell that he's like picking where to shoot. Like he's going for the knees. He's going for knee shots and shit like that. Like he's not, unless he's like aiming to kill. Like he's like taking these guys out and just like disabling them.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. He's very. I'm trying to think of the right word. Not. I don't want to say practiced, but he knows. Like he's very he knows what he's going for.
Yeah, for sure. But then they tie Kay up and they get to this little sequence here. This fucking Goodfellas reject fat guy.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh my god.
I hate his dialogue. I hate it. It's like, why don't you come out of there or we're gonna blow the fuck out of you. And I was like, all right,
Oh, good one.
you can do better. You can do better, Alex Garland. Come on, mate.
Right. I don't know if they're like trying to make him seem like a fucking idiot or what, but I mean, it works, I guess.
He's got a big gun though. He's got a fucking light machine gun.
Oh yeah, I would not want to be on the other end of that thing.
No. But like he rolls like a stun grenade thing into their fucking midst.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how none of them see it, but he basically gives them a warning. Citizens, you have 20 seconds to comply. I love Carl Urban's voice in this, man. Like we talked about it earlier, but he's just so like, it's so authoritative, and like I would shit my pants if I heard this guy across the fucking corner.
Yeah, especially if you're trying to trying to take this guy down. Like Jesus Christ.
Oh, absolutely. But I love the build up to it, man. Like he's like, he gives them 10 seconds and he's like, I'm giving you what's he say? I'm giving you 20, and then the fat guy's like, I'm giving you 10, and then he's like, noted.
Yeah, he's just like, all right, balls in your court, dude. Fine, I see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and then they just fucking bust through like when the stun grenade goes off. And talk to me about this scene, dude. The way Anderson is like, well, he's basically forcing her to kill this guy.
Yeah, I like that. I think it's interesting the relationship between the two of them, because there's so much that, like, because I know just from training people, like, working in a restaurant, it's not, it is very stressful, and it's kind of like, you've got to be really good with like you're executing your time. So when you're training somebody, I mean, if we get busy enough, we're just like, dude, go to the back, wash some dishes. I'm going to take this over for right now, and then we'll bring you back up. Like that doesn't happen in this. He's not like, all right, take a back seat, rookie. I need to take charge. I need to do this. Like he's using this as a learning experience. Like that's so fantastic. I think, what would you do, rookie? What would you do here? What would you do here? Blah, blah, blah. And I think it's great, like because I mean, really, I mean, he's forcing her to kill him, but I mean, it's really, this guy's dead either way. It's like there's no way, like it's not like he's gonna get a fair chance to have a fair trial and whatever. I mean, that's why they don't have these things, because you pull a gun on a cop, you're dead, and I don't blame them. There's 400 people after them in a building right now. Fucking shoot away. I can see how like it seems like it could conflict a little bit, just because he seems so cold and so harsh. But he's like, this is the world. If you want to be a judge, this is how things have to be. And it feels like obviously her first kill, but I mean, it's unfortunately, it's an absolutely necessary one.
Well, I got a question for you. Like, why did he disable the guys on the stairs who were going to, who had absolutely every intent to kill the two judges? But why did he make Anderson kill this guy in cold blood?
I don't know. I wonder. Because I was honestly under the impression that they just killed the people on the stairs. I didn't know that it was like a tactical kind of shot. Like I assumed that he was like plugging knees and plugging this and plugging that, and then like doing a kill shot. Like being very efficient with the way that he shoots and stuff like that, making sure they're kind of like injured and down first. But I don't know, because I would assume, this is a judge like we're talking about. It's like I'm assuming you're killing everybody.
I didn't notice a kill shot. But he might have. But like, I definitely noticed that he was going for the knees first. And I to be honest, man, I think he left him alive.
Really? Because I feel like later on when I can't remember what character says it, but they're like, he dropped 4 guys at the stairs, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's taken out, like, 13 people already or something. So, like, I would assume...
Yeah, Gleason says it.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Yeah, I would assume so, because, I mean, I don't see why it would be an exception to the rule for these guys, especially with it being the first ones that come out of the gate. Like, yeah, shoot them up, because I feel like it would be a fault on Dredd's training to say, yeah, no, they're fine. We're just going to shoot them in the knees and just walk away. Like, it's like, nah, we got to kill these guys.
And then following that, man, like, we get this pussy medic who's just hiding in his little fucking what little closet thing, and he's like not coming out because he wants to remain neutral. He gets plugged later anyway. But yeah, man, look, there's a little bit of a conversation there. It's not really that overly important. Dredd and Anderson keep moving along. They just move along in a corridor, and then they hear people coming. But Anderson's like, "Wait, there's someone in here," and she calls out to I forgot her name, but basically it's the wife of the guy that she killed, which is a crazy fucking coincidence.
Yeah, crazy reveal too. Like, yeah, definitely didn't see that coming.
It's so sad. I felt it, man. I was like, wow, this is pretty sad. She basically like kind of like begs her, and I think she uses her mind control to like open the door.
Yeah, she reads through. Her name's Kathy. She reads through the door, and she's, Kathy let us in, Kathy. Blah blah blah, and you're fucking crazy. I wouldn't have opened up the door. You're out of your mind.
No, fuck no. Like, but maybe she thought, this is something to do with her husband. I don't know. But yeah, Dredd watches the 3 guys, like they walk straight past, and then we find out that Kathy's got a kid in the next room. So they can't really kind of tie her and leave her someplace. And she's like, my husband's out there looking for you too. So, if you're out of here, then you're, well,
Yeah, right.
we get dialogue. Like I said, man, I do dig this. I do dig the reveal, like the photo. It's pretty cool, and like the look on Anderson's face, like it's pretty. It is pretty heartbreaking. Like, I didn't need the flashback though, like the whole I just shot this guy.
Right? Yeah, it's like we can put 2 and 2 together. Like we just saw that guy 45 seconds ago.
Yeah, I mean, trust us to be a bit smarter, Alex Garland, like you did in Ex Machina.
Yeah, right.
But yeah. Then we move on. Like I really like this part, man. Like they're going up the lift with Kay, and like you see the toll it's taking on Anderson. Like she's just like, this is too much. Like, and like somewhere around this part, I think this is where she's kind of making the decision that she doesn't want to be a judge anymore.
Absolutely, yeah. Like especially after killing that guy and seeing the family, like the repercussions from it. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. But she looks over at Dredd, who's like just fucking staring at her. He's just like looking at her. He's what do you reckon he's thinking? He's just like, oh, she's not fucking ready for this shit.
Yeah, I think he's definitely sizing her up because he knows what he's asked her to do, but now he wants to see like what those kind of effects are having on her. As much as she is a mind reader, he's reading her up and down right now.
Absolutely. So then we cut back to Lena Headey, and this is the part where Domhnall Gleeson's talking about how many people they've taken out already. Fucking insane number, though.
Yeah, right. Especially, just for being locked up. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's like they're sending, sheep to the slaughter, but it's, you're sending these guys to Dredd, and Dredd's like, Bruce Lee had a really interesting philosophy with like fighting and stuff. He's like, if you're on the defense, he's like, you'll be fine. But the minute you try to pick a fight is when you lose, because when you're,
that's crazy.
And I mean, I think he's totally right. Yeah. Dredd is just prepared. He's just ready for it.
Yeah, for sure, man. And he's just a fucking force of nature, this guy. Like, but yeah, this is the part where fucking Mama is just like, can you seal him in there? And then, Gleason's like, yeah, sure, war override gives me total control of the building. And then we cut back to Dredd and Kay, and on time, on tune, we get the fucking gates slamming down. Like, but I love the way it happens too. It's like they can hear it from like further away. and then it's like closing in, and then bang, they're like locked in.
Yeah.
And this is the part where you can tell Dredd's getting fucking worried, and when Dredd's worried, then fuck.
Yeah, right. I love that. I can't remember what the line is. She's like, there's nobody out here. He's like, that's what worries me. It's like, oh man,
Yeah.
to hear him say that something is worrying him, it's like, fuck that.
Just a pants shitting moment. Can you imagine being Anderson and being like, wait, something worries this guy?
Yeah, right. Like something is cracking this beautiful demeanor on the outside. Like, what in God's name could possibly do that?
Yeah. But yeah, man, I do like this. I like how he sees sort of Dredd walking through the corridors and everyone's kind of locking their doors, like for the impending fucking destruction.
Yeah, I love all the security camera footage that captures him as he's going down the hall. I really like those shots
for sure. But before we get probably the biggest set piece of the movie, we get this look in with Kay and Anderson. Basically, Kay's just trying to play mind games with her because he figures out that she's a mutant. Most of you guys have 3 arms, 3 arms or no arms, but you fit together pretty well. He's a bit of a fucking creep, but
yeah.
But yeah, what do you think of this little bit of a fucking mind game here, right?
Yeah, no, I think it's a good scene, especially because we only have so many main characters that we can cut between, especially with being in one area. I think it's really cool to see Kay interacting with Anderson and how and especially with it being, she's identified him, she's like, oh no, this is definitely the guy who skinned these people. He's going for your gun, he's going for this. So I think he's kind of intrigued by her, but not in a good way. This guy is definitely a fucking sexual predator. Like he's
for sure.
Yeah, this guy is absolutely disgusting. But yeah, he's like what am I thinking about right now? A violent sexual liaison between us. It's in a pointless attempt to shock me. I love that. She's like, no, this is not having any effect. And good, because I wasn't trying to shock you. And then he's like, I'd have been thinking about this, and it cuts that immediately. We don't even see it. She just bashes his face in. Like, I love that.
Yeah, what? Like, how fucked up do you think it would have been if we don't see it?
Oh yeah, the less is more approach, man. It gets you every fucking time.
But this came out in 2012 when I was 19 years old, and I was like a little 19-year-old. I was like, oh, did we see her boobs?
Yeah.
Did we see her boobs? But yeah, man, like this guy's he's pretty savage. But yeah, I like her. I like how ferocious she is. He's like, you should save the last bullet for yourself, and she's like, well, I'll save the second to last one for you. Like she's her own character. They really did well with this character, I think, with Anderson. Like, she's definitely because we don't get any emotional impact with Dredd, we get it with Anderson, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think the only emotional impact we ever get is Dredd saying he's worried. That's really about it.
Right, exactly. But then, no, man, so that happens, and then we get this huge sequence. Like, this is, like, well, it's not, okay, if you were to compare it to something like Transformers, it's, like, tiny. But for this movie, it's huge. Like, it's...
Yeah, no, it's... this is one of the few times where I was like, this kind of seems a little over the top. Like, I feel like there's maybe, you guys haven't... All you've done so far is thrown, like, 5 or 6 guys at him. Like, there's nobody in this building who's just not like a disposable goon. Like, there's not anybody in here who has like military experience or like wants to trap this guy somehow. We're just gonna roll out a couple of big ass guns and kill an entire block of people.
Yeah, I think it says a lot about Mama though. Like, I think she strikes me as someone who gets impatient.
Yeah.
I think she's like, you know what, I want to fucking deal with this quickly and loud. Like, because she literally says, she's like, we tried to do this quietly, but now we do it messy. Like,
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
like she's just fucking fed up with these two judges in her block. She wants to get back to expanding. She wants to get back to doing slow mo. But no, man, we get this sequence. She's like, fire, and then it's like these 3 massive like fucking cannons, these miniguns.
Yeah, like Gatling guns.
Yeah, they're loaded with tracer rounds, so you can like see where you're firing. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, I love when as the fire the fire from the gun is chasing Dredd, and I guess it hits something explosive, but it blows him up against that wall. I love
Yeah.
that. That looked so good.
Yeah, and I love the sound effects to it too. It's like it makes like it sounds like something ignited.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely got
Yeah.
like a combustible kind of sound to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, for sure. But I really like that top down shot where you see the tracer rounds, like the three kind of like lines of tracer rounds hitting the other side of it. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, she basically takes out like a fucking like a country.
Oh yeah, she like annihilates like a whole level of this fucking apartment building,
Yeah.
which holy shit.
Yeah, just for these two, man. But like I like seeing Dredd in distress. Like I like that he's not like this overarching like completely like 100% confident guy. Like he's in distress. Like this is way above. This is above him. This is beyond him, man. Like he's like running away.
Yeah, I think because I mean, what are you gonna do? You know, it's like I don't care how many different types of ammo you got in that gun. You know, it's like it's at some point, you know, like you got to run. You know, there's nothing else you can do. You know, them, you know, being sent to you one at a time and just knocking them out is one thing, but you know, when they bring in the big guns, it's like, oh, okay, I got to kind of recalibrate and figure out what's going on.
Yeah. I love that we get that little cut back to Gleason, and he's looking at all the cameras just going out. Like that's fucking badass, man. And then it cuts back to Dredd, and he's like sprinting towards Anderson, and he's like, "Get back, get back!" This is look, man. Like we said, we can talk about the shots in this movie all day, but this is a simple shot. It's the three of them leaning up against the wall, and it's like a mid shot, right? But it's like pulled out, and like you can just see the tracer rounds coming through, and like the parts of the wall just like giving away. It's so cool. Like, but yeah, she's like, concentrate your fire, and then like he's like high X, and he shoots the high explosive round into the wall because he could see the light coming through.
Right.
And they escape into the night. You know.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, go out to those basketball courts that we've seen earlier. And
yeah, it was a good setup.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, you know, Anderson and Dredd, as soon as they get out, just start pulling their guns on these kids. And I don't blame them, you know. Anybody and everybody's after you in this building. But yeah, I like this because just, you know, we're given a little bit of false hope. Oh, they're outside. Our comms are open. We can reach, you know, back up. We can call people, you know. And, you know, you kind of feel like things are maybe starting to tilt in their favor a little bit. But you know, shortly thereafter, it's kind of like a ping pong match. You know, it's like Dredd gets the call out, but then they end up, you know, telling the judges, you know, that they can't get the door open, and it's all just kind of like, you know, who are you going to believe in this situation, kind of thing, until until Mama calls in the judges at the end of it.
Absolutely, man. Like I dig it. But no, this is also one of my favorite parts of the movie. I just this badass beast fucking moment where Caleb gets tossed over the side. Like Dredd just like without saying a word, dude. Like he just like throws like her number 2 off to the side, like completely without ceremony or anything. Like no, like you know, he just gets tossed over and he just walks right back into the thick of it, into the fucking hellscape.
Yeah, I love that because, you know, and I think as Mama's like looking at him and she just watches him go, like just this dark figure just walk right back to where he was. Like, oh my God, that's you know, that's if that's not intimidating to her, you know, it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna throw this guy off this ledge and walk right back to where I was, and all slow and badass, like, you know.
Absolutely. And then yeah, so Dredd and God, I keep going to say Olivia because her name's Olivia Thirlby. Dredd and Anderson pull Kay into what looks like a classroom, right? Like so this building's like got everything.
Yeah, it's definitely it's definitely self-sustained. It's like its own little
block.
I mean, yeah, it's like a city within a city.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is like where we find out about. I mean, Dredd just beats Kato a pulp.
Oh yeah, dude, and just choking him out against that wall. That is so good.
But I like that this is like we get two kind of types of interrogation here, right? Like we get Dredd's like brute strength, which doesn't really help, because Kay doesn't really give much up. But then Anderson's like, wait, I can do it without even like touching him.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and she just slips right into welcome to the inside of your head. Yeah, that's really cool. And one thing I don't want to move past it either is when Dredd walks back away and sits up against that wall, the American flag has only 6 stars on it because I guess there's 6 megacities.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I saw that on IMDb, and this time watching it around, I was like, oh, okay. I was like, that's kind of that's kind of cool. I never really noticed that before, but yeah,
that's badass.
It's just little things like that, like in
world building, dude.
Yeah, like in Watchmen. Actually, when they bury the comedian, there's more stars on the flag because they won the war in Vietnam. I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. Like anything like that, you've got me, man. I'm sucked in immediately.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like it's just attention to detail shit, you know. But yeah, like this is another one of my shots, like one of my favorite shots. It's very simple, man. Like I just like that we get this, like how the camera is situated, and it's just like basically half the screen is like Dredd's mouth. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, you don't see above his like kind of like mouth, and it's just a very simple thing. But yeah, Anderson's like, sir, if you leave it to me, you know, you don't even have to touch him. But yeah, tell me about the mindfuckery here, like the like, how cool is that?
Yeah, it's like, I like it a lot. I think I love that Kay thinks he's got this control because they're in his head. And it's like, dude, the only reason you're both in your head right now is because she's the psychic. Like, you are fucking with shit that you don't even really know. Because, of course, you know, immediately he tries to kill her. He tries, you know, he starts, you know, trying to fuck her. And, you know, like, I mean, just everything. You know, this guy is just despicable. But I love, you know, as he's like, you know, basically, you know, like fantasizing, I guess, about like getting head from her. She pops up like right next to him, and she basically bites his fucking dick off. But when it cuts down, it's Mama, and I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. That was such a cool little thing to add because we've talked about that once before, and I was like, oh, that's badass. Like that's cool.
It's a tight script, man.
But yeah, that's when she just starts wreaking hell and starts looking through his memory and seeing him skinning the body, seeing the drugs, seeing everything. And when it cuts back to them, they're both just standing completely still in the real world. I was like, that's so cool. And then he's pissing his pants. Like, that's so
he's
great.
Pissed himself, yeah.
That's fantastic.
I don't want to go by it. I love how like they get in there and she's like, it's kind of empty in here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love that line.
But no, man, he's pissed himself, and this is like, well, essentially, the whole purpose of her being in his mind was like, you know, she's now found out that slow-mo Peachtree's is a slow-mo manufacturing plant, right? Like this is the base, the home base.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
So, Dredd's like, I mean, like they've stumbled into something pretty big. Like it started off with just 3 murders, and now this is like big. This is a big fucking thing, a big find.
Yeah, absolutely. That there's this massive, you know, drug den being operated out of here because I guess slow-mo is still, you know, still an up-and-coming thing, but it seems to be on the rise as like a new drug that's going to really take over the market, and to be in the birthplace of that, in the middle of it, and you being the only cop is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we get like this cut over to the control room. There are 2 judges knocking outside the door, and fuck me. The way she's got the knife blade right in his stomach, right in the fucking belly button, it like one little slip of that, and like you could take like a whole piece of skin, like it's crazy. But no, Gleason basically tells the 2 judges that they've had a fire, and like they look up and they can see the smoke and shit like that. And it's just, I just love how I love Mama's like facial expressions, like the way she's just so determined.
Yeah, she's like, "Hey, you fuck this up, I'm gonna kill you." Like her face is very just like, I don't know. It's almost like it's threatening, but at the same time, it's so threatening because it's relaxed. Like she seems so coy and just like mischievous about it. It's like, that's to me, that's more terrifying than someone who's just like looking at you with a stern look. Like she's kind of like playful about it. It's like, ugh, fuck that, man.
Mm. Absolutely, man. And then look. So Gleason manages to stave off the two judges. They're basically waiting outside until the other judges show up. And then we cut over to Dredd and Anderson, and Dredd's like, you're still on assessment. So what do you want to do? What would you do? And Anderson comes to the conclusion that, well, we can either defend or we can what is it? Stand our ground. And Dredd's like, well, no. How about we attack?
Right, yeah. She says like defend a position or just hide. I love you giving us two options. And because he seems like he's almost complimenting her, but how about attacking? And and her it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's like, is that an option? And he's like, well, we're judges.
Yeah, right. That's just as simple as it is. We are cops. It is within our legal
parameters.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, man. But no, look, Kay just takes so much damage in this whole movie. They drag Kay through these hallways, and we get these. I love this like pan over to this like poor kid just holding the gun. He's so fucking panicked. This reminds me a lot of The Wire. I know you haven't seen The Wire, but the entire purpose of that show is to show that, the drug running in the city of Baltimore, and like it doesn't have to just be Baltimore, it can be anywhere. It's cyclical, so it comes through, like it starts with the parents and goes down to the kids, and then it's just like a cycle, right? Like this, I feel like these kids are just like forced by their parents, even though we don't see that, we don't get a look into that at all. Like I just feel like that it's expected by them.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, we've already seen, how we bust into that to Kathy's house, and she's, her own husband's out there looking for them, which, there's 400 and, what is it, like 450, 435 people out there looking for them. So, I'm sure that, who doesn't want to be the one to kill these judges and come up to mama and be like, hey, here you go. Like, I'm your, to be, I'm the favorite son right now. Like I killed this guy. Like what do
Absolutely.
I get?
Just serve them up on like a silver platter, and get in the good graces of mama. Like I'm sure it's like a good thing, right? But yeah, no. So they eventually have this little standoff here near the elevator. This is cool, man. I dig this scene a lot. This little standoff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And this kid's, Jesus Christ, like couldn't look more awkward holding a gun. Look just so like just I don't know, like kids put down the gun, pick up the Xbox controller and go back to your room,
Exactly. But I love that they draw the guns and they're like freeze, and Dredd's just straight up like, why?
Yeah, right. Like, well, yeah, why would I listen to you? Yeah.
Yeah. But no, look, the kid just basically fucking hesitates, right? And Kay, this is like the whole time Kay's just like trying to like get out.
Yeah, he's kind of getting his feet out from the cuffs, and I love Dredd. He's like, the kid's like, you stay back or I'll shoot you. He's like, with the safety on. Mm-hmm. That's so good. And do you think the safety is actually on, or is he just fucking with this kid?
I don't know. I think he fucked with him.
I think so too.
Because I think he knows that this kid's got no fucking idea. He doesn't want to be here. The kid on the right though looks a bit more confident. Like that always got me in this movie. Like he looks a bit more confident than the kid doing the actual talking. Mm-hmm. So I don't know why this kid like took the lead.
Yeah, the kid on the right seems like he might be a little bit older. Like he looks like he talked the other kid into it.
Yeah. But no, man, I dig the music here too. Like it's very tense and like it's really building up to something. But yeah, like Kay makes a leap for Anderson. He like basically catches her, and then that causes Anderson to fire some rounds into the thing. And this is when Dredd just leaps and he stuns them. I think that was pretty cool.
Right. It's like I definitely like. Are you surprised he didn't shoot the kids? Honestly, like, are you surprised that he went with the stun, or are you not surprised by that?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm surprised by. I'm surprised, like this guy being such a hardened veteran. That could also be their sentence, though.
Yeah,
because they are. Yeah, because they're juveniles. Like I'm thinking that he didn't kill them. Like attempted murder. For a juvenile, the sentence might be stunning and then maybe life in prison or some shit like that,
Right.
It might not just be death. So
right, yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah. But no, they So Kay escapes with Anderson in the lift, and I love Kay. You are so fucked.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. That's brutal. What a line to walk into.
I know, and I'm just like you. I feel like you're gonna be like you're fucked, like literally. Like, I hate to get like dark on you, Anderson, but I feel like you're literally about to be fucked.
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry.
And like, yeah, that as soon as she's brought in, and there's all those guys. Like first time watching this, I'm like, this is not gonna end well. But honestly,
no.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Mama, like, yeah, we would have a much more brutal version of this movie. Because what does she say? Basically, they need it to look like they've just been shot up. So like no skinning, no raping, no torture, like nothing like that.
Yeah, no, I dig that, man. Like it's good villain stuff. Like it's smart villain stuff.
Yeah, and it would just be too easy. It's kind of like in Django, when they were gonna just kill Django and castrate him and stuff. They're like, no, we're gonna send him off the Quentin Nicky Mano's got it worse than that. It's like they want him to suffer, and it's like that's a little bit different from this one, but kind of in the same vein.
Right, exactly. It's like it's thinking about the long game, right?
Right, for sure. She doesn't obviously want, because I mean, yeah, you might have this building on lockdown for a few hours or a day even, but at some point those blast walls are going to come up, and somebody's going to be looking for one of the most prolific judges in the whole city.
Absolutely, and I love that she's pissed off at Kay for getting captured and like not killing himself.
Yeah, right. She's like, yeah, you should have either gotten yourself killed or or not been captured. I was like, damn. Well, she's straight to the point.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is also I believe this is the moment where she says call 911. No?
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no, you're right. Because at first I was like, is that just a joke? And then later on I was like, oh no, she's not joking at all. They totally called the cops.
Yeah, I was not expecting them to have corrupt judges. I love that, man. Anytime there's corruption in a movie, I'm always down for that. Like, I love The Departed just for that like reason. It just fascinates the hell out of me, like, because it's so cool. Like, you're supposed to be trusting these guys, especially these 4 judges that rock up, right? And like they all just look so badass. Like, we'll get to that when they actually do rock up. But but I was not expecting corrupt judges in this at all.
No, for sure, because you think that I'm not going to say that every single judge is like Dredd, but to take this kind of job to do something like that, I mean, you would have to be somewhat like him. You would have to have some kind of same moral code, and I guess it's pretty obvious that these people don't, or at least their moral code will bend for the right price.
Yeah, I think we have jumped a little bit ahead though. First, we get that badass sequence of like Dredd giving his little speech over the PA system.
Right? Yeah, Mama's a common criminal.
Right? Exactly. Mama's a common criminal. He's like, she's not the law. I'm the law.
I am the law. You can hear Stallone's lip droop. Like you can hear it. I don't even know how, but like. Actually, funny side note, that happened from when he was born. They used like forceps or something when he was being born and pinched a nerve in his face. Just a little side trivia.
Is that why? Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I was actually I always loved Stallone movies. Like when I was in middle school and stuff, he was like one of my favorite actors. And then
he's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then I grew up and realized how a lot of his movies suck. But like he's still got quite a few good ones. But yeah, I read a biography about him, and he's a very interesting guy. I would definitely read about him sometime. Very interesting guy.
That's badass, dude. Because I've read Arnie's biography.
Oh.
It's pretty cool too. Yeah, definitely check it out. It's called Total Recall. But yeah, we get this awesome fucking scene, man. Like where he's in that phone booth. It looks like a phone booth or whatever the fuck it is. Mm-hmm. He hacks into the PA system and he gives his little speech, and I love it. Like it's so cool. He basically just calls her a common criminal. Like she's not worth shit. She's just another fucking piece of shit that he's just got to take down, right? But while this is happening, like we get a look in around like the entire building. We get a look in at the slow-mo lab for the first time. Like these poor fucking women just working on the drugs and chemicals, and it's rough. It's rough.
Yeah, absolutely. It reminded me of what is it, American Hustle, when they walk in and like all the women are naked, like bagging up the
Ooh,
drugs
yeah.
and stuff. I think they do that in New Jack City as well. If you've ever seen that with Wesley Snipes, that's a good movie.
No.
That's a good one.
No, I haven't checked
But
that
yeah,
out.
very, very similar kind of vibe.
Yeah. But yeah, Dredd finishes his speech with Judgment Time.
Oh my god, that was such a terrible line. It's bad. Like
It's comic booky. It's comic booky.
Judgment Day. That's fine. Say Judgment Time. Like, I've never heard Judgment Time like Judgment Day. It would have been like, okay, that's still kind of cheesy, but it makes sense what you're talking about.
And get sued by James Cameron? No, thank you.
Yeah, right. Oh my god, that bastard.
Yeah, but look, Gleason tracks the call to the specific booth on the specific floor, and Mama sends her guys. Did you catch a look at this guy?
Oh, well,
It's fucking...
I was going to say, you might have to be a little bit more specific. This guy? Oh, the one you're pointing to? What?
No. I mean, like, the guy that rocks up to the booth first.
Oh,
like, 'cause,
yeah.
like, a few of them, like, rock up to the booth. And this guy, I don't know what the fuck is going on with his hair. Oh, man, I feel like this guy's, like, he's just come back from the fucking hairdresser.
Oh,
like,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, now
Dude.
I got a little off track. I just pulled the movie back up, but dude, yeah, he looks like 10 seconds ago somebody was like, "Hey, Rodney, good perm." He's like, "Thanks," and then they come around the corner and like he looks so stupid. Like, I mean, it's obviously a wig, but like, what the fuck? Like, it looks so odd. Maybe that's intentional. You know, again, the artificial, I don't even know if this is a word. The artificiality, like, of this place, like how artificial everything seems. Maybe that's just like, I don't know. It's just a wig and, you know, just kind of vanity. I have no idea. But the fact that the scene,
fucking weird.
the fact that it continues to hinge on him, even when he opens up the door and sees that it's not Dredd, I was like, why are we focusing on this guy? Like, this is so odd.
It's so weird. Yeah, that's right. Like, the focus also makes it even weirder. But I love that he just shoots a couple rounds into the booth and he's like, "Fucker still hasn't gone down." He's just got a funny accent too.
Right. It's like, no, yeah, this guy, even with these shells pumped in him, hasn't even fallen over, let alone died.
No, exactly. Right. Like this guy didn't react to any of the bullets, so I wonder what the fuck's up. So he just goes and checks in and like this fucking body is just hanging from the roof and he's like, "He's not here," or some shit like that. And then, dude, fucking my main man, I love the music here too with the bass, like duk, 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 and then fucking Dredd is like, I can't even, like, I'm just watching the scene now and like,
what is it that he fires? Is like incendiary?
Incendiary. And then I love the sound effect, man. Like I love that the gun, like, kind of like, it's like, okay, like it does that little sound. It's like beep, and then it just like fires it, and you just see that shot of like the incendiary round going across the floors, and bam,
dude,
he fucking lights them up.
Yeah, I love it, and it's like there's two really, really badass shots like back to back when he turns and walks away, and we just see all the fire and like the carnage of it. But man, the shot of those 4 judges on the bikes is really, really good. Like that is some like Blade Runner level shot. Like that looks really, really fucking beautiful.
Well, but wait, before we get to that, I thought you were gonna say, because there's another awesome shot that's happening while the incendiary is happening. I believe it was on a poster. It's like a reflection of the fire on his helmet, on his visor.
For sure, yeah.
Pretty fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah, that looks great.
But yeah, that's the point that Mama calls 911, and this is the part where we get that shot of them on the bikes. It's so cool, man. Like, I was not expecting the corrupt judges, but like I said, man, we get another shot, that top down shot of like them approaching, like outside the building. I don't know what it is about these shots that I just love.
Yeah, they're just so expansive. Like, they just seem like everything. They give this like huge breath of just, I don't know, just such a large scale to everything.
Yeah, but yeah, these are judges. Lex is the leader. Lex, Kaplan, Chan, and Alvarez. I'm looking at you, William. You fucker. But yeah, they rock up to these 2 judges outside, and this guy with the shotgun, he just fucking walks up to the PA system. "Open up."
Yeah, yeah, that's so funny because
Yeah.
I guess the two judges that were originally called, they're just straight cops, like they're not in on
Yeah.
it or anything, so that's why the doors haven't opened at all.
That's right. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's right. But like, wouldn't that look suspect to them? Oh, I wonder why why the door's opening for these guys and not us.
Yeah, I guess I guess the first two cops are like, well, yeah, I guess now that these guys have come in and asked, not politely at all, like we like I guess finally these people are like, okay, yeah, we'll open up, and they're because they seem almost embarrassed by it, like when they're like they come in and they're just like open up and the door opens and they're like, all right, now you can leave. Like I like, oh, that kind of sucks because Lex seems like almost like a veteran, definitely seems like an older kind of cop because he even says that later on. I've been on the force for 20 years or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like, but they rock up to the crime scene with the three murders, and Lex is pretty much outlining like, what's he say? He's talking about how it's gonna go down in the story, right? In their story. And the medic walks up and he's like, no, that's not what happened.
Oh,
he's just like,
immediately I was like, dude, shut up.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, are you willing to testify to that? And then, I remember, man, when this movie, when it was still in production, there was a leaked sort of like clip, and this was the clip. It was literally like this gun like coming up to this guy on this to his head, and it was like firing, and it's just like I remember it was a GIF, and it was like really like, holy shit, man, this movie's gonna be awesome because like if you like, it's just so cool. Like this entire like thing.
Yeah, and
he's like, you willing to test?
Oh,
yeah, go.
Well, I was gonna say it's so funny that you saw the GIF and thought that the movie was gonna be awesome because it totally sucks. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, fucker. But yeah, they fucking destroy this poor bastard who was just hiding. But you know what? That's what he gets for being a pussy.
Yeah, right. Like I get it. It's a medical bay, but like you wouldn't stay neutral. Like no, you just don't want to get killed. Like I mean, anybody. She says anybody who helps the judges, where you're going to be along right beside them.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Lex, she meets Mama. They have a little chat. Dude, they're getting paid $1 million, but it's not $1 million apiece.
Right.
It's split 4 ways. What? That's fucking tiny. Unless the exchange rate is like $1 to 1 credit is like $10, then like, what the fuck?
Right, yeah, $250,000 to kill a cop, and it's like, I mean, I would never do it, but
not just a cop.
Yeah, we're talking about Dredd, and it's like that's. I mean, good God, man! Like $250,000. It's like because I assume Mama's big time, but I guess she can't afford to pay all of them $1 million, $1 million credits apiece. It's like I mean, $250,000. Like I mean, still, I mean, at least give them $2 million and split it. Like I wouldn't go in there and do that shit for less than $500,000. No way.
Yeah. So look, they split off. Kaplan decides to stay with Mama, just as sort of like a bodyguard. But then we go back to Dredd. He drops a few guys before meeting up with, I believe it's Chan or Judge Chan. And Chan's like, relax, we're here now. You got backups arrived, and then Dredd's like, something's a bit wrong here. He's like, 2 of us called in the 1024. I'm not sure why I'm wondering why you didn't ask about the other one. And then like that tips off like Chan just reacts.
Yeah.
He's like, Lex, we gotta move, and then it's like, bam. I fucking love this fight, actually. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and Dredd, not only is he, anybody can go in and years of training and firearm training and stuff like that and be a badass like fighter, but he's intuitive, he's smart, he's the detective. He was, he was very like, well, that's odd. Like you didn't mention that there was another one here because I'm here with like a rookie all by myself. Like, wouldn't you be concerned about this, this rookie on like her first day? I'm Dredd, I can handle myself. Like you didn't even ask about her. That's very like perceptive of it. Yeah, it's great.
For sure, man. It's so cool. But then, yeah, like Dredd gets pinned up against the wall and fires a couple of rounds into Chan's foot. And then we get fucking combo breaker
Oh, dude, yeah.
Fucking hold R2 and L2 at the same time and just fucking press X, mash that shit, and you get the move that I like to call trachea crush.
Dude, it's brutal, man. Like, I mean, he just crushes this guy's like esophagus in.
It's fucking. I was like in the cinema, man. I was like, holy shit! He collapsed his fucking. He collapsed his entire like. You can probably see his spine.
Yeah, dude. It really shows you A, how strong Dredd is, but then B, how fragile the human body could be just to walk up. I mean, you could just walk up onto somebody on the street and just and just fucking just drop them like and crush their like
Sure. Yeah, sure, we'll need the butt of a lawgiver to do that, but still.
Yeah, right. Holy shit.
But I do love that shot of, like, I think it's Lex and Alvarez. They rock up and fucking Chan's just dropping to his knees.
Yeah, that's a great shot.
Fucking awesome, dude. But then we cut back to one of my favorite scenes of the fucking movie. It's Kay intimidating Anderson. Anderson's on her knees. And, like, you see Kay, like, picking up the photo. And, you know, Kay does his little fucking speech, his little monologue, but then he points the fucking lawgiver at her. He's like, I always wanted to use one of these.
God, what a fucking moron.
Fucking idiot. But what is that? Oh, no, go on.
No, I was just saying, like, how do you not know? How is this not common knowledge for, like, if you're, like... You know, and I don't want to be that guy. This is not like the Django Unchained versus Rocket thing for me.
You fucking nitpicker,
dude. I got it, but you know, if it's the same thing with like, like this guy is her like right hand man, who literally loses his right hand because he doesn't understand what a fucking like what the gun does. It's like I don't understand that. Like I mean, like I'm just watching the movie and I could tell that it's like it's a big part of like their. I mean, I think like a little bit of their DNA is in each one of the rounds. So like there's accountability for shots fired and stuff like that. Like not only does it protect officers, but it like protect officers for collateral damage and stuff. But also how do you not know that? You don't know anybody out of the 500 of your jackass friends that are trying to kill these dudes who have tried to pick up their what is it, a lawgiver?
Lawgiver, yeah.
God, what a fuck! I just I get it. This guy just might be an idiot and is never because again judges haven't really come to Peachtree, so maybe that's why. But I don't know. Like it's just a dumb way to get fucking killed. Just dumb.
Doesn't really bug me. And like, you know what? He might not actually be dead. Because like, okay, let's talk about first fucking ID fail and then boom, his fucking arm just explodes. I love the way we see it as well. It's just like there's definitely some fuckery there. Like I don't know if it's computerized or if it's just like kind of like two sort of like
it looks great, man. It looks really good.
Yeah. Because I feel like they shot it. They didn't move the camera at all, and then they cut, and then they kind of like, you know what I mean? Like they kind of spliced it together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I actually got kind of like a weird, like again a RoboCop feel, because that's in RoboCop. Ooh. That's one of the first things they do is they blow his right hand off, and I was like, and it looked extremely similar to
what fucking awesome.
I was like, oh shit! I was like, okay, and now and then there's Dredd walking through the drug factory, and I was like, this feels very like RoboCop walking through the cocaine factory.
Coke factory.
Yeah, it like feels very similar to that. But I mean, they're great movies,
Yeah. But no, like I said, he might not be dead because she just like gets up and just fucking roundhouse kicks him in the face and he just drops, and that's the last we see of him.
I would love if it was just in their handbook to just crush people's throats like that, like she kicked him in the throat and just crushed it, like it's just in the handbook.
Dude, with that kick, it looked like she might have probably collapsed his skull because that was fucking rough.
Yeah, it's like right. I think she gets him like right with the back of the heel or something. Like she roundhouses him, I think. And Chuck Norris on his ass.
Yeah, for sure. But no, she escapes and she fights like three guys in this fucking tunnel, and she turns this one guy's face into fucking pulp.
Oh yeah, dude. That's
holy shit.
That's beautifully brutal.
Like, I've got it paused on like just like when she's got this guy's gun, like the gun under this guy's like face, and it just explodes into like a mountain of pulp. But dude, I also like that she's got the MP5 here as well. She's not carrying a lawgiver anymore because at this point, like, it's kind of symbolic because she doesn't want to become a judge anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I do like that. You know, she could just easily just go and pick up her gun, but she's like, no, fuck that. I want this is a much better weapon. You know, it's going to, well, I wouldn't say much better, but I mean, I guess it's going to have more ammo at a higher, you know, fire rate. I was like, I would probably rather have, I would honestly, me personally, I would probably rather have the like that submachine gun. Was that like an MP5?
Yeah, it looks like an MP5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, Call of Duty, for my knowledge of guns.
I know.
But yeah, I would definitely want the MP5 because that's just I've always wanted to shoot one of those. But yeah, like you said, it's great. It's symbolic. It's her leaving that behind, especially with this guy that she's been stuck with the whole movie. You know, that she's kind of been babysitting this whole time. Like they've been together almost the entire time. You know, and they get split up from they get split up from Dredd, you know, and basically, I don't know. There's definitely something symbolic in there of this guy who is kind of like her test. It's kind of like her test to see, you know, if she can handle it or not. But the funny part is, her losing her weapon is what kind of makes her pass the test in an odd way. You know, him getting the weapon is ultimately what leads to his downfall. So like, you can look at it from both angles. Like, yeah, you lost your gun, but it helped us bring this guy to justice. You know, it's like it's kind of a double-edged sword, I guess.
Yeah, for sure, man. I totally agree, man. That's fucking badass. Like, it just, like, I love the symbolism. Like, it's so cool. But look, we move on. Dredd fucking walks into Colombia.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
Like, seriously, this drug lab here. This is where we get the showdown between Alvarez, Lex, and Dredd. And this is kind of what I liked. So I like that, you know, Mama was like this cerebral villain, whereas I guess Lex was more of the physical villain. Like, I know, like, that's why I think to you it felt a little anticlimactic when it came down to the showdown between Mama and Dredd, right? Because, like, you know, Mama's a bit more intellectual. Like, she's, shall we say, she's the Riddler. Or the Joker, like someone who can't like physically stand up to the Batman, whereas, you know, Bane is Lex.
Yeah, I could totally see it. Like it's like, yeah, she's the mind and he's the muscle.
Right, exactly, and like I think that's why, you know, we get these showdowns. Like, but no, man, this is cool. What happens in this lab right here? Do you want to talk about this for a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Just as soon as Dredd comes in, he just fucking caps those two guys, and everybody runs. Everybody just immediately bolts out of that room. And yeah, just the whole, you know, because this whole time we've seen, you know, Dredd running around with this gun, and, you know, I'm sure somebody's been, when does that thing kind of run out of ammo? Right about now.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, right about the time that you absolutely need it, and that you are totally equally matched against another two other officers, you know, that are way more, you know, one of them's got a shotgun, the other one's got like a submachine gun. But yeah, this whole this whole thing had like a vibe to it of, it reminded me of like a video game almost, like a video game level in like GoldenEye, like the whole room kind of reminded me of that.
Oh yes.
It felt very like GoldenEye to me, or just video gamey in general. It felt like that. But yeah, I love the room, and
yeah, you know what I love, man? I love that while Lex is doing his little sort of villain speech, like he's taking cover and shit, but I also like the look-ins that we get on Dredd. Like, Dredd's backing up, but like he knows that Alvarez is coming from the other side. Like, he keeps peeking to the left, like he's like, all right, I've got this fucker, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah, it's like, this is what I would do, and I'm a judge, so, you know, I think, yeah, he's got kind of like an insider's perspective. Right,
exactly. So like, this is the part where essentially Lex is talking about the city being a meat grinder. You know, it just takes you and it just spits you right back out. You know, he's been on the force for 20 years. And, you know, people go in one dead and meat comes out the other.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and then, like, holy shit, what a way to look at things.
This is also when I realized how big fucking Lex's chin is.
Oh,
Jesus
dude,
Christ.
yeah, like he honestly like looks like Dredd from the comic book. Like I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, like that big ass chin.
Fucking crimson chin. But I actually really like the actor. I don't know. I've never seen the actor in anything else besides this, but like he like when he's got Dredd down later and he's doing his villain monologue, like he looks cool. Like with his like he's like the bottom half of his face is really cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I love.
I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but like it's just like his physicality is awesome.
No, absolutely, yeah. Because there's with the almost the entire head being caught, like the bottom, you end up. I mean, your mouth is just, or your eyes are just immediately brought to like the mouth of
like he animates his lips really well.
Right, yeah. One thing I forgot to bring up earlier that I thought was really interesting, just in trivia, is I know I'm going to say his name wrong. Is it Michael Biehn? Michael Biehn?
Michael Biehn.
Yeah, he actually auditioned for this movie.
Oh shit!
And I guess it was for Dredd. I assume so. But I don't know how old he would have been when this came out. I assume definitely older than Carl Urban is, but I could totally see him doing it. I got no problem with that.
He could totally play that like grizzled kind of like veteran sort of cop. Like he could totally pull that off.
Right, yeah, but no, I thought that was really cool. I forgot to bring that up earlier. I just now thought of it.
No, absolutely. But look, so Lex, nods to Alvarez to go in for the kill, and Alvarez walks in with his shotgun, and Dredd just turns around and hi X fucking blows his head off.
Oh, dude, that is really cool. Like the digital effects right there look really good. Versus like the hot shot that we saw earlier where he turned that guy into like a human jack-o'-lantern. I was like, dude, that looks cool. Like I appreciate you saving it for this part. Like I mean, I would rather this look good than the first part, but yeah, it looks great. Right. It really looks good.
It does. Sorry, well, I fucked up. I did say that Dredd just whirls around, but like they do have like a little bit of a shootout. But like I like that Dredd like backed up against the wall and he's like going through the cycle of like all of his like ammo, like they're all empty, and then he's like incendiary and it's like empty. Armor piercing, empty, and then it's like high X, and then turns around, bang.
Yeah.
And this guy's body just like fucking falls like a fucking meat sack.
Yeah, right, like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, and Lex is like, son of a bitch, and he just like fucking fires, and he's like, and then Tread's like two-way split. Like he's just like counting it down.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that's so good. Because we missed that line earlier too where he's like, hey, $1 million split 4 ways. He's like 3 ways, even better.
Yeah.
I was like, which
is why I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, right. Like, I mean, now you're making some fucking money.
Yeah, but Lex is like, I'd be breaking a sweat if you didn't just run out of ammo.
Yeah, totally calls him on it. Like he fucking straight up knows. I mean, he's a judge.
Yeah, for sure. But then we cut back to Anderson. She's like going through the corridors and shit, and she meets up with the female corrupt judge. I completely forgot her name because she's not fucking important whatsoever. She gets dispatched like straight away. I love this. I like that there wasn't this big fight scene with her, like or this big sort of like reveal that that she's corrupt. Like seriously, because she can just read her mind, and she's like, "Yep, I know what she's thinking."
Right, yeah, I love that. She's immediately like, we called you guys forever ago. Like, why are there only one of you? Like if you know what's going on, like what the fuck is? And one thing I forgot. One thing I think is hilarious is how they send like there's like 8 judges at this building, including Anderson and Dredd. At one point, there's the 2 outside, and then there's the 4 that show up. No wonder you fucking only reply to like 6% of the calls because there's like 8 cops here right now. Like, what the fuck?
I know. It's like, what the fuck? Like, where are your priorities, bitch? But then, Lex fires an armor piercing one straight through Dredd, which is pretty fucking crazy. Like, because I like how it go. He fires like the 3 to the right, and he gets closer and closer, and then like bang, straight through his like it's a through and through. It goes straight through.
Yeah, and I love the shot because you've got Dredd like in the middle of the frame, and then off to the left, you can still see him in the back when holding the gun. I was like, oh, that's good.
That's awesome. Yeah, the blocking in the scene. That's another thing, man. The blocking in the scenes is like pretty awesome. Like where everyone's kind of like standing where the camera is. Like it's so cool. But then Lex starts to do his like little villain speech because Dredd says, wait. He just holds up his hand. He's like, wait. And Lex is like, wait? He's like, the Judge Dredd is telling me to wait? He's like, wait for what? And, like, this is where his, like, mouth is, like, doing this, like, little dance. Like, I love his, like, physicality.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think it did hit a point where I was like, I feel like, like you said, it is the villain monologue. It is the, the climax of the movie somewhat. But yeah, and I do like, I do like Dredd saying like, wait, like showing weakness almost. And he's like, what did you say? Wait, but I feel like the scene went on just a little bit too long. I really wish he just would have been like, wait, like the great, tells me to wait. He's like, yeah. And then he gets shot. But this goes on for so long. Like he just showboats, he's definitely like, soapboxing.
I do like how it gives Lex a little bit more weight though. I like that at least one of these judges got some kind of character.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I wouldn't even say so much character because it's really just it's really just kind of like I don't know more about him because of this. It's just him almost like,
yeah, I get you.
Yeah, it's like we need to just sit here and stall for like 10 seconds while she shows up. And it's like I just felt like if it had been quicker, if there wasn't such a, because like the longer, it's like in boxing, where they talk about showboating, where people can see, or like billboarding where you can see your punches and stuff. It's like if you leave yourself open like that, you're gonna get popped. And it's like, especially being a judge, like he should know that. Like I need to kill this guy now because he's gonna pull something out of his ass. Like, which I'm not saying I don't see how he didn't see it coming, but I would have just shot him like right away. Like, no, this is Dredd. He will get back up. He will come after me if I don't stop this now.
I'm with you. I dig it. But yeah, so Anderson shows up with a fucking and just blasts him. He just falls unceremoniously, and then Dredd just heals himself.
Yeah, right. I was like,
how cool is this?
Yeah, I was like, okay, I guess that gunshot to the abdomen with armor-piercing rounds is not really that big of a deal anymore.
This looks cool though. It looks cool. Like the way he kind of patches himself up.
Yeah, I really like the stitches. He puts that kind of like, I don't know, I guess human gut glue inside of him, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But just the way those stitches just kind of that's really good. That's really cool.
Yeah, for sure, man. Look, Dredd and Anderson link up again, and we just like they break into that sort of server room and they find Gleason, and Gleason's just hiding, and Anderson just lets him go.
Yeah, and I think, I think that's great because we obviously see the type of life that he's been basically forced to live, and this totally caught me off guard. I thought in the beginning it was just a montage of Mama just doing horrendous stuff, shooting people, ripping somebody's eyes out, because it seems more like a torture thing, but really she's tearing his eyes out to like make him, this like ultimate kind of, I guess, like hacker, just make him even better. For obviously she's only doing it for her own benefit. But yeah, I love that Anderson's like,
it's great.
Yeah, Anderson's like, I'm under assessment right now. I know I'm not going to be a judge anyways because I lost my gun. I don't care. It's my assessment and I'm letting him go. And I was like, dude, awesome, own it. Own it, motherfucker.
Yeah, for sure. This is like the defining moment for Anderson. I love this. I love the way she just fucking gears up and she's like, I don't give a shit. Like, I already decided I picked up the fail when I lost my gun. I already decided that I'm not going to be a judge. And she's just like, let's finish this. And I love the music kicking in. It's just so cool.
Yeah, and basically they need a code from him to get into Mama's, and she's like, I don't even need the code. And when she goes in and reads his mind for the code, that's where she sees the history with everything. And really, this guy's just been an unwitting pawn this whole time, and I think it's great to see him get out.
Yeah, for sure. But we get a quick little montage of like them just like blasting their way to the top, to level 200, to Mama's spot. Like this is cool, man. I can watch these guys clear rooms all day.
Oh yeah,
it's so cool. Like the way I love like their little. I love when Dredd like taps her on the back. Like it's so cool. Just like little touches like that. You know what I mean? Like working as a team. It's so cool.
Yeah, they really do make a good team. I definitely wouldn't mind seeing another movie
Yeah.
where they are teamed up, but I wouldn't mind seeing just a Dredd movie as well. I would like to, if they do make a second one, they would just be remiss to not touch on this character again and see what has happened to her since the events of the first movie.
Absolutely, absolutely. But they rock up to Mama's place, and I never liked the way this was shot. Like the way that the henchmen kind of like fire on Anderson. She takes a bullet, but then like when Dredd shoots this guy, I don't know what it is. Like it's like shot between like two poles or something. Like, do you know what I mean?
I'm coming up on this scene now, um, but yeah, I like it's there. Yeah, I'm just watching them fucking clear rooms and shit. I'm like, yeah, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, yeah. I see what you mean now. Yeah.
See what I mean? Like, but I do like that we see the guy in the foreground just like get fucking destroyed, and Mama's in the background. She's just holding the poles with both hands. But I don't know. It just looks weird. Like it's just like it's like they put the camera between like two poles or something.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, it's very. There's like something right in front of the camera, kind of blocking it a little bit. Yeah, that is kind of odd.
But no. So this is where Mama reveals that she's got a dead man switch. It's synced up to her heartbeat. If she dies, the top 50 floors go as well with her, which means the whole building goes essentially. And Dredd just hits her with a gut shot, right? Like, fucking just nails her.
Yeah, I love that. He's basically, yeah, if I shoot you, that's fine. I'm going to shoot you, but that doesn't mean that your heart's going to stop like right away. It's going to give me enough time to figure something out.
Yeah.
Which I think is great, because definitely the first time I saw it, she's like, "Oh yeah, I've got this bomb, and if my heart stops," she's like, "Fuck you, blang," and just like shoots her. He's just like, "I don't give a fuck."
But he's so like stoic and like 100% like devoted to the cause. He's like, this isn't a negotiation. Your sentence is death. Mama's like, you can't afford to take the risk. That's when he lowers his aim and shoots her in the stomach. She collapses onto the bed and she's just like fucking bleeding out. And Dredd just walks up. We're a kilometer above ground. What do you figure the range is on that thing? Could it get through 100 levels of concrete? How about 200? Let's find out. And seriously, I just love that. I love the way he just like fucking drags it to her feet, drags it to the window. And this is my favorite line. I just love this, man. I love Citizen Mama. Your crimes are multiple homicide and the manufacture and distribution of narcotics. How do you plead? And then he just like, she doesn't say anything. That's another thing I love about Mama. She doesn't cry. She doesn't bitch. She doesn't moan. She's accepted her fate.
Right, yeah, she kind of says as such, like earlier too. She's like, at one point, she's when the judges show up, one of them's like, it hasn't been a judge this here in months. She's like, well, it's all. She's like, I knew we were gonna get busted eventually. It's like it's time. It's gonna happen at some point. Like she's very accepting of it. She understands this game.
Yeah, exactly. She doesn't say shit, and Dredd's like, defense noted, and he just fucking pelts her out the window.
Yeah, dude, we cannot go past what is one of probably my favorite shot of the whole movie. And I absolutely love the shot of her as she's just flying down. It looks so good. Like oh man, just it's beautiful. Like just starting from the top and just panning all the way down as she's falling. I was like, dude, that is fantastic. Yeah. It looks so good.
This entire sequence is so good. I love the shot of the glass. And Dredd's just like, he's pulling his hand back from the push, and then he doesn't even like wait to see. He just like starts turning around immediately. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He just starts walking back to Anderson. He doesn't even like care. He just pushes her out the window, and like she's just falling. I do think the fall takes a while though. Like I could do without the fall, like kind of being so dragged out.
Because we've already seen it. We understand the implications of being drugged up with this slow mo and then shoved out a window. It's a horrible death, and it's like, don't get me wrong, it's satisfying to see that happen to our villain, but at the same time, like we understand the implications of that. But I guess it is kind of like the last time we see it, so we might as well go out with a bang,
Yeah, and I love how she goes past that floor where he lit it up with the incendiary, and there's all the smoke still there.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. That's crazy.
So cool.
Uh,
So cool.
I love the shot as she's falling backwards, and and she, from her point of view, we see Dredd just up there in the three windows. Like that is a really cool touch. I like
Cool.
that.
So cool, man.
Looks great.
Yeah. And then like I also love I thought they were going to just like because for a moment like the movie like speeds up to normal time and we see her fall with the glass shards. I thought like the movie was just gonna be like splat. Like she's just gonna hit the ground at normal speed. But then we cut back to her like with the slow-mo, and her just like face first, like face planting into the ground.
Yeah, I love that. I love any kind of movie where it's like kind of like Inception, where it's showing us, what it looks like in some form. Yeah, that's great. Like how things look from a different perspective, like in the moment, how things look versus how it looked from an outside point of view. That's really really great.
Yeah. And the shot of her you can see the ground and like the shot of her approaching the ground like from the side angle, so cool, man. Like, and then like it just cuts to like a top like an up shot, and man, she just explodes into like blood. The entire screen is just like blood.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we get that tracer on the arm, like seeing it turn red. And I assume that like the red for not being not being far enough for the transmission or whatever, but Dredd just like, yeah.
Like that's what I thought.
Right, yeah, and I was like, okay, cool. That's yeah. At first I was like, God, what a stupid line to like end that on. I was like, nah, I guess he's like, yeah, that's what I thought, bitch. And he walks off.
Yeah, I dig it, man. But yeah, man, like they're done. They're fucking done. They go down the elevator. Anderson's fine, as we thought she would be anyway. All the shutters and stuff open. We get ambulances. We get more judges arriving. We get the commander. Dredd has a quick sort of interlude with Anderson, telling her that the assessment's now over and things like that, and then Anderson gives her shield over.
Yeah,
and, she just fucking walks off without saying a word. I thought it was pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I love that because there's not really any kind of like been fun, Dredd. Like, oh yeah, this has really been a walk in the park. Yeah, this has been a learning experience or blah blah blah. She's like, dude, here's your badge, here's your gun, fuck off. Yeah. Like, I'm done with this. I definitely don't want to be doing this.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I like the commander. She's just like, how'd she do? Is she a pass or a fail? And then he's just like, she's a pass. Because, like, she taught him that compromise is sometimes a good thing, right? Like, it doesn't always have to be black and white.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's so cool. Like this is an action movie first and foremost, but we still get a character arc.
Right, yeah. I was going to ask you what reasons you think that he passes her, because obviously we're talking about Dredd here. Dredd's got insanely high standards, and I think that I guess the arc is kind of, she's teaching him about compromise, and in that he's like, she lost her gun, and she fucked up a few things, but without her, I was in a fatal position, and she totally saved my ass. And like, she was, and a lot of times just as helpful or more helpful than Dredd, being able to extract information and read through the walls and find stuff. Like, yeah, he's great with like brute force, but there's no way that either one of them would have made it out alone.
Absolutely, man. Like they're such a good unit. But we get this shot of like Dredd walking out, man. I love this like front shot, and like he's got the fucking like bullet hole still in him.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, we get the voiceover, Carl Urban, Mega City 1. He's just like, it's such a cool ending. I love the way the music like pipes up. I love that overhead shot of the city, and like everything just looks like it looks like a massive like graveside, but it's like buildings.
Right, yeah, and it just seems like it just seems like stuff in rows. Just everything seems just so grid-like. It really, like I said, it really adds to like the like everything being unorganic. Very like things that are organic and things that occur naturally don't follow in lines and square up the way that this city does. It squares up like perfectly, and I think we see that a lot. Like you said, a lot of those top down shots, like so much of them, everything is just brick and concrete and just square and plain. Like everything seems just very like meh. But yeah, I love that. Like the way everything looks. It's funny you said a graveyard, because this whole place is really, I mean, it's kind of like one big graveyard. You know how many people?
Pretty much.
102 dead bodies. You know, we've got here in less than 24 hours in one building. Like, holy shit.
Crazy, man. But yeah, man, only one thing fighting for order in the chaos. Judges. Who do you think this is riding off, though? This can't be Anderson.
I don't, is it not Dredd?
Well, I don't know, because like the last thing we see before that shot is Anderson with a helmet walking off. Like it wouldn't make sense for it to be Anderson, because she's like kind of quit though. But if she's a past, maybe like I don't know, like
I don't know. I honestly, I guess I wasn't even paying attention hard enough. I just assumed it was Dredd, because I mean, it's kind of like the same thing with It's kind of like the same thing with the 95 one with Stallone. I actually do really like the ending of that, when, everybody's like, hey, we want you to be the new Chief of Justice and we want you to this. And he's like, nope. He's like, and just immediately gets back on the bike and leaves.
I remember that, yeah.
I think that's really cool. But yeah, I honestly, I just thought it was Dredd.
It might be Dredd. I don't know. It looks like a man's back. I don't know. But I like the music overlay piping up, man. I love the credits, the smash hard cut to credits. It's so cool, dude. I love the way this movie starts and ends. And then Judge Dredd, created by John Wagner and Carlos Escarrera.
Yeah, I actually read that the creators of that, when they were getting together with Alex Garland, Peach Trees is the name of a coffee shop that they met up to discuss the.
That's badass.
Yeah, it's a name of like a coffee shop or somewhere that they've met up to discuss the movie. But yeah, now I'm going back and watching. I don't know if that is Dredd or not. Now that's gonna bug me. Why do you gotta point shit out like that? Now that's gonna bug me. I gotta go on the internet and read for like 2 hours and shit and figure stuff out. Well, it could be Anderson because of blah, blah, blah.
But yeah, man, that's Dredd.
That's motherfucking Dredd, dude.
Done and dusted, man.
Yeah, I'm
Colin,
lucky.
Give me your closing thoughts, mate.
Well, I was gonna say I'm lucky because I managed to just wing this, even though not seeing the 2014 version. I mean, I was fully prepared to talk about the 1995 Sylvester Stallone movie. And,
wait, what 2000? This is 2012.
Oh, I thought it was 2014. Sorry, never mind. But yeah, I like this movie. I like it. I think I had more fun covering it than I actually did watching it. Which is great. It's cool to take a movie that you don't love that much and make that you make a really, really fun evening out of it. And fun content for you guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I enjoyed it. I feel like I might come back to this one sooner now. Now that I've watched it, a couple of times in the last few days. Because they're, and I'm really interested now I'll probably get off here and start reading about like the mythology of Judge Dredd and like how all that stuff works, because it's always been a super interesting. There's really not another comic book character like that. It's judge, jury, executioner, like all of that stuff wrapped up in one, and it's like legal. We see like Punisher and we see comic book characters who just go out and, and kill people and they believe they're on the right side of the law, but this like, it's just like it's not an insane concept, but it's something that's easy to grasp, but might seem kind of insane on the surface because of given that these people can just execute people on the street like it's no problem. That's so bizarre to me. But yeah, I'm really interested to kind of like look into the farther parts of like the Judge Dredd mythology, and if I can find that RoboCop versus Judge Dredd thing, I'm going to post it in the after party. I'll tag you in it so you can see it up there. But it's pretty cool.
Badass, dude. Yeah, man. Look, I love the hell out of this movie. It was so fun covering it, man. It was so fun watching it again. Like, it's just so, and it's an easy watch. Like, it's only an hour and a half. It's not like it's Interstellar,
right?
Like,
what I
mean? Yeah. So yeah, no, it's awesome, dude. Like, I love the energy of it. I love the spirit. I love the world building, the feel, the tone. Everything about this movie to me is just so damn good. I was watching this with my brother in the movies, man, and we both loved the hell out of it because we both loved the original, like the Judge Dredd as kids. Mm-hmm. I want to specify as kids, okay, not now.
Right.
But yeah, man. Like you said, I've been like thinking about picking up the comics for this, because the world just fascinates me. I love, like, I'm very fascinated about how a legal system like this can exist. Like, I like all of this, all of that kind of shit. Just like, I'm so amazed by it. Even though it's fictional, like it's still pretty cool, man. But yeah, man. Look, I think we're in early talks, but it sounds like we have a horror movie coming up for our next feature presentation. Am I right, Colin?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I've been super excited to do like straight on horror. I mean, Shaun of the Dead is kind of like a mixed bag. You get a 50-50, but at the same time, like really just doing something that's just like that's unabashedly horror. That's not like paying homage to it while doing another genre, like something that's just a full on horror. But yeah, we're looking at some. Should I go ahead and drop it, or do you just want to tease them with it for now in case we decide to do something else, or?
Just drop it.
Oh, dude, we're gonna do The Void. This is a movie that honestly not a lot of people I know have seen. It's a really, really good. It's a really, really good movie. It's on Netflix right now. It's been on there for a while. I was taken away by this as soon as I saw the trailer. If you're into John Carpenter or the Evil Dead movies or Hellraiser or the any type of like really, if you're a fan of 80s horror, it's going to be right there. If you're a fan of practical effects and most of it taking place in one location, it's your kind of movie. And I'm really, really excited to cover it. I've been really high on this movie for the last couple of days. I just rewatched it. I think right before I watched Dredd, I rewatched Void, and it's just so great. They've got a great like making of it documentary on YouTube, so highly suggest everybody check it out. And I'm definitely looking forward to covering that.
Badass, man. I'm looking forward to it too. But yeah, look, you can find us. You can email us if you have any questions or theories or whatever the hell about who the hell was on that bike at the end of this movie. You can do that at midnight. Midnight Double Feature at gmail.com. You can reach out to us on Instagram. We got some lovely people on Instagram. That's at Midnight Double Feature. Facebook is where most of the action is. Our main page is Midnight Double Feature. But we also have a little fun page called the After Party. And After Party is 2 words. But yeah, man, definitely reach us out there. Look, Colin, unless you got anything else to say, man, we might as well say goodbye to the nice people.
No, I got nothing else. Thanks for listening, guys, and we really hope you enjoy it. And yeah, send us some feedback. Let us know if there's any movies you guys think we should cover, or maybe something that we haven't watched. I'm always down to hear some suggestions. So yeah, reach out. We really want to talk to you guys.
Yeah, guys, really appreciate it. Like Colin said, man, like reach out to us. We'd definitely like to cover something that the fans pick. That would be fucking awesome. But yeah, guys, we hope you have a good one. Signing off. Boom.